Meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone family. From the town of Bedrock, they're a page right out of history. Let's ride with the family down the street, through the courtesy of Pretzel Beat. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba-dabba-doo time, a dabba-doo time, we'll have a gay old time.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Come with me. Yeah. You know what that means. Time to get going. Step right in to the Z Show. Yeah. High vibing. No low vibes. Who's going to be on the vibe watch today? Who's going to be here for the show? We need somebody to make sure we're keeping the vibes, at a level that's palatable and comfortable for you listeners. We can't let the vibe level go below 5.0. Have to keep the vibes high. Pamela's here. Pamela, you're going to be watching the vibes today. If the vibes get too low, just let me know. You're in charge today. Your imagination. Noob is on the vibes. And London Man. All right. We had a whole team. That's right, everybody. Coming at you. The good news regarding the vibes, you'll be happy to hear this, Nuba. The Melodome is scheduled to be on this morning for another Melodome AM morning show. So, Nuba, you'll be happy to know that if the vibes drop too low, we have our friends over at the Melodome to help lift our spirits. It's always nice to have a backup, because you never know when things are going to go wonky. And we might need to tap into the exceedingly high vibes that Awesome Austin and Flatman X are able to bring each and every morning that seemingly yours truly sometimes struggles with, Sometimes I let the vibes drop a little bit. So sometimes you need a little bit of help from your metaversal friends. So we may have some metaversal help this morning from our friends at the Melodome. I'm just saying. So look out for that, guys. That's always fun. Gang, gang. Yeah. Come on in. Heidi wants me to check the emotions chart. Yeah, Heidi? Heidi woke up happy. Well, that's good. But we know that's very, very likely to change pretty much moment to moment with you, Heidi. You seem to be one living embodiment of like an emotional roller coaster. Heidi, I think I might have to just leave all the 27 emotions up on screen. And then at any given time during the show, you could just name the emotion you're experiencing. Because that's what we're here for. We had a conversation with our friend Graphics yesterday, for those of you who missed it, and Mr. David Weiss decided to show up at Z Show yesterday, guys and dolls, and he was of great help with our friend Graphics. Dave was giving him the information, but yours truly, me, this zetetic warrior, I was just looking at it more from an emotional component. I was trying to get Graphics to identify the emotions he was experiencing during the interaction. And although he was rather resistant towards that end, I was able to give my take on his emotional state, and I deduced that he was likely feeling anxiety, fear, and disgust. They were the three emotions that I was able to identify. So It's always good to know where we stand, everybody. Would you say, Rocky, your latest live video, what's going down? I saw that you were live, Rock. Maybe we'll check that out. Callaway Crusher says, let's hear some good flat earth information. Are you going to be like that, Callaway? I know you're new here, but is this how we're going to start our relationship metaversally, Callaway? Where you just kind of give me dictates and stuff? You just tell me what you want, when you want it, how you want it on my show? Is that what we're going to do? Come on, Callaway Crusher. I mean, I don't want to come off untoward. I don't want to be cross, but... Yeah, London Man missed it. Dave Weiss showed up. You're not going to want to miss that, London Man. Although, I will be producing a series here on the Z Network, we're going to call it, on my channel. And it's going to be called the Z Files. I'm also going to be bringing... a series called Inside Z's Truther Studio. So whenever y'all miss some of these key moments of the Z show, fear not. I'm actively archiving and preserving them for history. We're saving them from the metaversal memory hole that is YouTube. So fear not, faithful Z show listeners. We're going to be coming at you with some of these special Z series. Like I said, the Z Files is going to be one. Inside Z's Truther Studio, where we're going to highlight various guests that I have here. Of course, we're going to have my hashtag science playlist for everybody. Things like that. Just some things you can look forward to in the Z show. Z Network, I should say. But let me get back to this Callaway Crusher, because 2 times already this morning you've said, let's hear some good flat earth info. Well, Callaway Crusher, you could always come up here. You know, I do an open panel each and every day, and we can talk. You could ask me. That's the cool part about my show and YouTube in general, many channels. It's interactive, good sir or ma'am. You can come in, we could discourse, we could discuss, we could have a conversation. But indeed, I do plan on bringing some good flat earth info today, Callaway Crusher. So indeed, you should be quite pleased. Good sir. Or ma'am. Like Rocky says, flat earth is old news. Rocky, you're right, Rock. But guess what? Not everybody got the news. It's old news for you, Rock. It's old news for me. It's old news for, like, people from 1890. Rocky, you and I can agree on that statement, my friend. But as we see evidence to here each and every day, it's not old news for a lot of people. What's Robot Sen says? It's Mammon Z. I don't know what that word is. M-A-M-N. Maybe you, that was a typo. Who me says, how are bubbles formed? Oh! Are you going to be somebody who's going to do the tired claim where they say, Z, because a bubble exists, Earth is a globe. Please, who me, please don't tell me you tune in and listen to me every single morning. And this is the level you're going to come in with. Audience, is who me really going to come at me with bubbles? Hold on, I need to focus on you, sir. Who me, if you'd like to come up and have a conversation with your friend Z, we can do it. You let me know, I'll drop the link right now, we could just talk. We could have a cordial discourse. But when people come to my show and they make the argument that because a bubble exists, we live on a globe, a rotating, orbiting, spherical water ball, orbiting a fusion gas giant existing in a near perfect vacuum of space, I have a hard time entertaining that argument. But I do think when people ask these questions, they're being sincere. But you see, I saw through everything you said, because you said, how is a bubble formed? And I instinctively know that you're basically beginning to present an argument that because a bubble exists, that we live on an impossible space globe. Is that where you were going, Humi, or are you going to disappear after your comment? You're not gonna talk. You got gun shy because I brought you up when you say, how are bubbles formed? The answer very likely would be surface tension, good sir. Surface tension. We can go into hydrodynamical properties in this world, because you guys know I love talking science. We can talk about bubbles. We can talk about surface tension. We could do that. Yeah, you disappeared, Humi. You're gone. Where did you go, Humi? You disappeared. You said bubble and left. You just, kind of weird. You just say bubbles and leave. Rocky says bubblehead. Rocky, man, you are a goofy motherfucker. Fucking bubbleheads. Here we go. Then you said challenged, question mark. Are you Eric Dubé's Thai wife? What the fuck? Oh my god. Where do you people come from? Where do you people come from? Does Eric Dubé have a Thai wife? I told my listeners, I've gone through the list of my favorite East Asian flavor of lovely ladies. We've talked about this recently. There was a point in my life, maybe 13, 14, 15 years ago, I sat down. I did hardcore empirical research. I wanted to discover who's the hottest East Asians. Thai was up there. But we know there's a lot of, lady boys running around there in Thailand, so it gets a little dicey, but, regardless, the Thai ladies are hot. But we know I ranked South Korea as the hottest East Asian flavor. It's hard to disagree with South Korean being the hottest, but they're all up there. They're all beautiful in their own way. Hey, Green Man's laughing. Come on. When you really investigate it, you see there are distinct differences between the East Asian flavors. A Japanese lady and a Vietnamese, Filipino, South Korean, Chinese. There's distinct differences. Humi says Eric has gone home. I don't know why we're talking about Eric Dubé. Humi. So Humi comes into my chat and brings up Bubbles, Dubé, and his apparently Thai wife. What are we talking, man? What are we talking about here? Rocky said that he had a South Korean girlfriend when he was in the Marine Corps. How'd that work out for you, Rocky? They tend to be a little volatile, these Asian ladies. They tend to be quite volatile. They appear calm and serene, on the surface, but underneath there's a raging torrent of emotion. And usually some type of traumatic induced dysfunction. And make no mistake about it, these East Asian ladies are cold-blooded. cold-blooded. They will look you square in the eyes and cut you. They will rip your heart out, straight out of your fucking chest. And they'll serve it up with some bulgogi and kimchi. Get it? They don't mind just devouring you from the inside. Ask me how I know. Probably the same way Rocky knows. Cowboy Crushers was apparently admitting that they were a sugar daddy when they were stationed over there. Yeah. Oh, he said she was nice. Good for you, Rocky. I'd imagine, Rocky, you have a way with the ladies. Just saying, Rock. I'm just saying, Mr. Rock E. Shepard. Do you want me to check you out, Rock? Rocky was streaming this morning, and he wants me to go over and give him a little shine. Rock, you streamed for 3 minutes and 24 seconds, dude. Do you know that? Did they cut your stream out or something? I know you have, like, consistent problems with your streaming. It's hard for me to restream you, Rock, because you use a lot of, like, just copied material, man. Like, you play, like, extended pieces. Yeah, you said, what's going down? 3 minutes. Let me pull it up. Fucking Rocky. Let me check it out before I bring it up. Alright, so here's your opening. Rock, there's no stream, dude. It's just your opening, man. It's just Hillary Clinton as a marionette, dude. I don't have anywhere to go with that, man. I'm not sure where you're at with that, dude. Much love, though, Rock. He says, no, short video. I don't know. Who me says Eric is crying. He didn't have enough money. Who me? I don't know who you are. And why are you talking about Eric Dubé? Why are you fixated on Eric? Like, what's your deal? I don't get where you're coming from. Are you just like another strange person on the internet? Just evidencing your like obvious like fixation, your OCD like qualities. What are you doing, dude? He says, Eric, go back to Maine. Unbelievable. It makes me wonder sometimes. Like I'm like, oh, I'm investing energy in somebody who's like probably a little mentally a little a little mentally, let's say, like less than competent, so to speak. Like, why are you focused in Dubai, bro? Like, what's going on with you? You're one of these people. Fucking weirdo, man. All right, so then Rocky shit. See, Rocky, you always come clean, Rocky. You've done it with me about your marriage, and now you're doing it here. Because at first you're like, oh, yeah, that South Korean chick, she worshipped me. She adored me. But then Rocky comes with the truth, as always. He says, true, she probably loved me for my paycheck, but I didn't notice it. Of course you didn't notice it. That's their job, to make you not notice it. Anybody who's like had that paycheck coming in and that paycheck stops coming in, watch what happens to your relationship, gentlemen. The older guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you, to you younger guys. Just watch what happens. Look, this is what I consistently say about the male-female dynamic, the dynamic between men and women. It's conditional, especially from the female side of that equation. I want you to realize that, guys. Your interactions with the opposite sex are based on a value exchange. They're not going to love you. They're not your mommy. They probably shouldn't love you like your mommy. If they do, that's a problem on both your ends. That interaction should be based on a value exchange. There should be conditions. A woman should not love you unconditionally. Why is love even a part of it? Why is it so confusing? It's confusing on purpose. It's confusing because you were programmed through rom-coms, Hollywood romantic movies, Hallmark, music, pop culture. You have been programmed for simping. This is quite evident. Your interactions with the opposite sex are conditional, plain and simple. So Rocky knows when that paycheck was coming in, she was, loving Rocky long time. She loved Rocky long time. Rocky had that long paycheck, and she loved him long time. The fucking paycheck dry up, Rocky. See what happens to that love. Smith W, I can't just fucking pay attention to you as I'm doing a show. See, this is the dysfunction I'm talking about. Why do they all why does everybody collect here at Z Show? He goes, all right, I'll drop it later, Z. All right, I'll drop in later, Z. I can't pay attention to you, Smith. What are you fucking saying to me, man? That's why they shaped Seattle. You know, Smith, I'm fond of you. He said, dude, chill. I'm not telling you to pay attention to me. I said, give Z a thumbs up. Okay. I agree. Give Z a thumbs up. Share my show. Can't pay attention to everybody. Like Heidi. Wrong, Z. You're programmed by men who got hurt not to believe in love. So just cut off love and God-given emotions. Heidi, you have no clue how wrong you are, lovely lady. Wrong, Z. I'm telling Z how wrong he is. Programmed not to believe in love. Stop it, Heidi. I expect it from you. You're a lady. You're a lovely lady. Of course you're going to tell me I'm wrong. And that I was programmed not to believe in love. Now, it's quite the opposite. Heidi. Give me a break. Stop it. Stop it. Smith says, I think you need a chill pill. I'm saying all right, not like I'm bummed out. Like, all right, I should get my ass to work. I've been at work for an hour and a half. I got shit I got to do. It's pouring. Okay. Much love, Smith W. Let's all contain ourselves. Let's all just kind of slow down. All right, Heidi, we're going to check in on you. Heidi, you said you were happy at the start of the show. Now, we've progressed maybe, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Who knows? Can you please, Heidi, identify your emotion right now? Would you care to do so, Heidi? Do you want me to help you with this? I think this is a good time to check in with you. This is going to be the new segment on the Z Show. It's Heidi gives us her emotions. Do you need help? Do you need me to? He said, it's okay, Z. I love you unconditionally. Yeah, okay. I'm not buying that, Heidi. I watched how quickly you jumped over to that Benton as soon as like the slightest thing went wrong in our metaversal relationship. It was like, I love you now, Benton. Just always know, guys, these ladies always have your replacement ready, locked and loaded in their chamber of love. You get it? They're always... Look, see how Thunder Chicken, right on cue, says, Heidi, always good to see you. See, Thunder Chicken noticed a slight crack in our relationship. Like, Thunder Chicken's in the background, right? And he's like, oh, look, Heidi and Z are having problems. And boom, sweeps right in, Thunder Chicken, right in. Didn't waste any time. Hey, Heidi. There's always orbiters. There's always orbiters. And I don't believe in like the orbits in the cosmos, because he doesn't believe in the theory of gravitation and the bending and warping of space-time, brought to you by Einstein's 1915 theory of general relativity, where he redefined what gravity is and expanded on Newton's mass attracting mass. Sorry, I spurg out sometimes. But Thunder Chicken is evidencing that he's going to be orbiting in Heidi's, constellation, so to speak. And as soon as there's a crack, boom, he comes in. And just know, gentlemen, if you are in a relationship currently with one of these lovely ladies, she has at least a handful, maybe more, of guys who are just waiting for you to fuck up. They're waiting for the slightest crack in your relationship. And like water that always finds its level, they seep right in and do what they need to do. And that's just how it goes. Plain and simple. Thunder Chicken just Thunder Chicken's evidencing that right here. Even Illumitami says women always have a plan B. It's true. Always. So as you're taken off guard, when she's like, here's when you know your relationship's over. I'm talking to the young guys out there. The old guys know it, they just won't admit it. Like Green Man's here, and Green Man's a good guy, but he knows these things, but has trouble like coming to grips with it. When you hear this from your woman, when you hear these words, your relationship's over. You don't need to go to counseling. You don't need to work on it. You don't need to hang in there for another couple years and think things are going to get better. When she says to you these words, ready? It's 3 words. Can anybody guess what the 3 words are? I'm going to give it to you. I'm not happy. They're the 3 words right there. That's it. It's not complicated. This isn't, complex. It's subtle. When your lady says those 3 words to you, I'm not happy, that's it. She's already decided that she's emotionally checked out. She's going to move on. Nothing will stop her. She will destroy everything that was built over. Doesn't matter how long. Because when your woman separates from you, she benefits. It's to her benefit and your detriment when the relationship's over. When you're married and you enter into this legally binding contract with these ladies, when it's over, when she breaks the contract, she benefits and you lose. Get it? Women are incentivized to break the contract because the law is skewed in their favor. Why would you? It begs the question. I'm talking to the young guys out there. I'm talking to the young guys. Why would you enter into a legally binding contract that is skewed in the direction of one of the partners? Get it? You should not do that. David Harbour says it's so true. See how that happens? When people just kind of come out of the woodworks and say, yeah, Z's kind of right. Z's kind of right. Just saying. Thank you, David Harbour, for validating what many men will not tell you. How did I get on this? I started with Heidi. Heidi, did you give us your emotional update? Are you still here? Are you over there at Benton's channel? Oh, Benton, you're the champion of all broadcasters. I love you now, Benton. I used to love Satanic Warrior, but he's not playing into my bullshit. I still secretly love him, but I'm just going to tell everybody I love you now, Benton. Come on, Heidi. The 27 emotions. I want to read them. Admiration, adoration, aesthetic appreciation, amusement, anxiety, awe, awkwardness, boredom, calmness, confusion, craving, disgust, empathetic pain, entrancement, envy, excitement, fear, horror, interest, joy, nostalgia, romance, sadness, satisfaction, sexual desire, sympathy, and triumph. Please name the emotion, Heidi. Do I need to bring them up so you can look at them on screen? You said you were happy this morning. That's not even emotion. It's joy, by the way, which I had to learn. Because no longer are they, is like this fucking pop psychology movement. No longer are they including happiness as an emotion. It's joy. And they just got rid of anger. I can't stop talking about this. No longer are they saying anger is emotion. What did they substitute for anger? Sadness they kept. I don't know. Maybe fear and horror? Are they saying you can't be angry? That we've all just been confusing anger as an emotion? Can somebody help me out with this? This is where I start getting nuts. Because I always talk about hashtag science. Well, has psychology become hashtag science? Psychology's always been hashtag science. It's bullshit. There's no science. It's a soft science. Hey, a soft science is not a science, by the way. Just saying. But 2 questions right now. Heidi, what emotion are you experiencing right now? And 2, what have they substituted for anger? Because I'm not seeing it here. Admiration, adoration, maybe anxiety, confusion, disgust. Disgust was one of the original 6 anyway. Fear. Yeah, weird. I don't know. I don't know where we're going this morning. We're going down a weird road. Heidi does not appear to want to answer my fucking question. All right, she says she's joy-filled and sexual. Gotcha. All right, now we're getting at it. Heidi's feeling joyous and the sexual one. So what sexual desire? Gentlemen, Thunder Chicken, confirmation that Heidi is feeling the emotion of sexual desire currently. Probably one of the reasons she's kind of evidencing some of her recent behaviors towards yours truly. I'm just saying. Moonlight says anger is a secondary emotion. Okay, fair enough. Tommy says, who me? I was being real quiet in case he dropped a globe link on you. How's it going, Tommy? You abruptly left my show yesterday and said you were going to go YouTube dark, which obviously didn't happen. The fuck, Tom? Goofball. He just says, I hate Cynthia. No, you don't. You don't hate Cynthia. I know you don't. Stop it. I know you don't hate her. I know you don't hate her. So. Rocky says sex was designed for recreation. Rocky, do you mean procreation? I mean, I get it. Recreational sex seems to be the flavor of the day that we live in. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I kind of think you meant to say procreation there, Rock. Look, Thunder Chicken's confirming he's taking Heidi. I'm taking Heidi. It's official now. That might be a good matchup, you and Heidi, Mr. Thunder Chicken. Hey, Thunder Chicken, how did you make out at that Flattoberfest? We saw you there. You went viral. You were in that Tyler Oliveria Flat Earth piece with our friend David Weiss. We saw you, Thunder Chicken. You're immortalized now in Flattoberfest history. How did you make out there, Thunder Chicken? Just wondering. I'm just saying. I need to check in because, like I said, the vibes may be dropping a bit here. And our friends, the Melodome, were going to be on this morning. At least they were scheduled to come on. We might need a dose of vibes. Are you on, Austin? Did you cancel your fucking show? Let me see what it is. Upcoming. Did you cancel your morning stream? Oh. What a disappointment. Oh, come on. That is disappointing. You streamed last night? Oh, it was yesterday? Grand Rising, Austin and FMA. Oh, it was yesterday. I missed it. Doggone it. Silly me. Thunder Chicken, how were the vibes yesterday on the Melodome's morning show? Did you notice an increase in vibes when you were there compared to Z's show? He says he's traveling. He can't type. Yeah. Good for you, Thunder Chicken. Appreciate that. For checking in. Maybe you'll let us know how the vibes were over there. I'm disappointed. Green Man's disappointed too. I'm going to drop the link in for Lumitami if he wants to come up and talk to us. Because you left my show very abruptly the other day, Tom. Just saying, Tommy boy. The link's in the chat if you want to come talk to us. I want the State of the Tommy address. You know how he gives us the State of the LARPs? Let's see if Tommy wants to come up. In the meantime, let's get the show started, everybody, because this isn't just all a bunch of bullshit. That Callaway guy's coming here for more flat earth information. He's telling me, fuck you, Z. I don't need to hear about all this bullshit. Just tell me the information I want. It's like that guy Graphics yesterday. He just said right to Dave and right to me, give me the information. Tell me. It's like, God, calm down, everybody. Everybody gets so fucking worked up about so many things. Just a bunch of projection. You realize, guys, that most of human behavior is just a projection of your internal state. You're not. I'm going to say this again for everybody who doesn't know. The world that you experience, the reality that you experience, is all subjective. You have to understand, you perceive the world through your senses. Your senses are not a replication of reality. The reality that you perceive is a decoding by your higher cortical regions of neurological impulses. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You have sensory organs, which are part of your nervous system, your afferent neurological system. You get it? Your sensory organs, whether it's your hearing, your vision, your taste, your smell, your proprioception, your sensory organs take energy that exists in this world, whether it's acoustical energy, which is basically mechanical energy, whether it's electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy is light. It is a visual light spectrum. It's just electromagnetics. Your sensory organs take that energy, and through a process of transduction, energy transduction, the energy in the world around you is changed into neurological impulses, which is basically chemical electrical energy, right? Neurological impulses, neurological energy is chemical electric. It's just electric. This electrical energy is an encoding of the energy in the world. That encoded signal is passed up through your nervous system up to your cortex, which is just a particular region of your brain. It is here that encoded energy is decoded and perceived. You're perceiving the world around you through your senses. You're not experiencing the world as such. You could look at your senses as a filter in some ways because you're not experiencing all the energy of this world. We've talked about this many times. What you perceive as vision is a very narrow band of the entire span of electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy exists across a spectrum of frequency. You're perceiving a very tiny bandwidth. It's the same with your hearing. Acoustic energy exists along a spectrum, a frequency spectrum. You're only perceiving a bandwidth of that. Your world is subjective. There's Tommy. I'm going to bring you up, Tommy. Steve, the head motherfucker in charge, he knows a little bit about acoustics. He works with stereo systems. Says 20 hertz is life. Yeah, that's the lowest level you can hear. 20 hertz is the lowest frequency level that's audible for humans. That's where that bass comes in, man. Tommy, how's it going this morning? Good, sir.
It's going. First things first, we've got a new, here's the classic cake, but we got the peaches. Got the peaches in there.
Oh,
'Cause I
wow.
got a can of peaches to do something with.
So you made your breakfast cake, which is basically a muffin mix that you make in a pan, and then you added canned peaches. Nice move.
Yes, sir. And I also didn't have any milk or eggs, but cooking is also a science. And
So you did baking without milk or eggs? How did you do that?
you can replace eggs with applesauce, and you can just gob in some extra vegetable oil. I mean, it's just flour and stuff for the most part. Also
Not
on the
bad.
agenda.
Not bad with the canned peaches. You almost kind of made like a cobbler. Like you made like a fucking dime store cobbler fucking version.
Yeah, I just need to crush it up with some goofy stuff. So in my adventures,
Are you showing us your dick right now? Are you just trying to show us? Are you just passively putting in your wee wee just because we were talking about it the other day? Is that what's happening here?
I found these two books because on my journeys I encounter a lot of ransacked homeless encampments and places where people probably took a stolen bag to go through it. And I believe that the Denver homeless are taking books from those little free book huts, if you see those. I don't know if your neighborhoods have those. It's like a mailbox looking thing where people leave free books, and they're fucking burning them, like for a fire. But
Wow,
luckily,
we've come to that. Well, I heard it's you already have snow there in Colorado, and it's cold, so it's that time of year. But
yeah, I get that, but these fires are all summer because I'm pretty sure they have something to do with doing heroin at night. Maybe they just want a morale fire at night, but I always find packs of rubber gloves and syringes and shit like that. I think it has something to do with the junk.
interesting.
I
So
do a
how's
lot
it,
of inconsequential Batman stuff whenever me and my dog are adventuring.
what do you mean? Like you're like the Dark Knight, and so you just kind of roam around like the slums and like the dregs of the city of
When
where
I
are you? I
see
don't know, Denver. I don't know where the
stuff,
fuck you are. I think you're in Denver.
yeah, I'm in Denver. When I see stuff worth looking at, I look at it and think about it. Like there's these drainage tunnels where kids go do graffiti, and there was like a notebook and an inhaler and one shoe laying around. And I was like, man, this is weird because this wasn't here last time. And then when I crossed the street, I found like a girl's purse full of Disney watches. So I took it over to the motorcycle shop and I was like, can you guys hold this here in case it turns into something? And I told them about it and they looked all concerned too. And I don't think it's anything because I went back today and checked some shit out. But I find all kinds of weird shit that could be evidence. Like I
Let
found a
me
bag.
hold on, Tom. I wanted to ask you about the ladies of Denver. I'd imagine, like, okay, when I just look at the landscape of America and the different cities and these urban regions, and I try to think like what the population might be, the vibe, the culture, and things like that. And of course, my mind goes to the ladies. I'd imagine Denver, Colorado has a high population of very lovely, beautiful, kind of nut and crunchy, earthy type of pseudo hippie ladies. Can you confirm or deny that? What's the landscape like there in that regards?
All of Colorado has sexy people of all types, all genders, everywhere because it's one of the healthiest states in America. They out here healthy, they fucking, and that's why we're also one of the highest STD states. But it don't matter. We're all fucking hot and fucking.
I could see that, except you've recently confirmed that you're not an incel because you're not celibate, involuntarily. You're voluntarily celibate.
But there
Why?
was a time in my Denver life that I was a gym rat, womanizing fucking motherfucker. Yeah,
Yeah. Why have you decided at this stage in your life that you're going to step away from the ladies?
because I was already separated from society in a large part by God, and um, I'm just over it. I've had my fill. I mean, it can happen. Like, if it falls in my lap and it's perfect, it can happen. But I'm not out prowling or looking.
All right. So you sound like you're just going to live your life, do you, and then if something comes from it, you're not against it.
I'm not
Got it.
against it, but I mean, I'm also like making an effort not to do the self gratification as much as I can, but not always successful in that.
Interesting. What do you? Let's get into that topic because people go back and forth. I think there is something to maybe backing off on, like you said, the self gratification. I could see pluses and minuses to it. What's your thoughts? Like, why are you not like engaging in that activity?
I could go on a full spurg of that whole Santa Claus going down the 33 column chimney. I watched a thing recently where they proposed that when the Nephilim ruled the world, that all human procreation was done under their guidance and in their presence, and you didn't do it without that. And that's why we were living like hundreds of years and stuff. And I could go into a whole thing about guess guess what the snake in the garden was that was tempting the woman to eat the fruit of the knowledge of carnal knowledge. Like you could say, like we try and say everything a man does in life is for pussy. And a lot of what people do seem to revolve around like pairing off, and that is like our power, that sexual energy that you repress when you're not fapping or fucking. That is your essence, your life power, your life source. Um, if we have any kind of magi to us, that would be it. Um, and you see how Tesla was cranking out technology, just chilling with his pigeons, not fucking. All of it was creative, directed. Um, as long as I've been saying I'm on NoFap, you guys see the insanity of rando videos I'm pumping out. Um,
I particularly enjoyed your new character, Cletus, the alien, the redneck alien. What was your inspiration for Cletus, the redneck alien? Could you bring us into that, Tommy? I'm fascinated.
that was just off of the cuff. But I am gonna meme edit it like all the songs I referenced. I'm gonna throw them in when I'm doing them, and whatever I said that I can throw in some edits, I'm gonna get that done.
What do you mean? You're gonna chop it up? You're gonna like take your live and then like
Yeah, did you see the one I did with Stephen David where I threw in like the G basement flashback and threw in some meme stuff while we were talking?
No, I didn't see that, but let me
Check
let
that
me
one out for your ASMR Tom.
yeah, let me show the audience what I'm talking about here.
And if the boys are gonna fight, you better let them. Ain't that how you hairless monkeys sing it? And
Yeah,
if
I'll
the
throw
boys
that
wanna
song in.
fight, you better let them. I hate that song. I hate that song. It's annoying to me, man. Balls and back and down.
I like that
Balls
album,
and
by the
balls.
way.
That's a gay song where we come from. They all cheering them summertime boys is back in time. They think it's fine when boys stop by for the summer. For the summer. Boys stop by for the galactic summer.
that wear Abercrombie fits.
We sacrifice.
So Tommy, so you're sitting there and you go, okay, here's what I'm guessing. You were looking through your filters, you found this one. But how does
I
it
had plans for that one,
but how does it get to your point where you go, okay, I'm gonna do a galactic redneck, and then I'm gonna wear that specific vest that you're wearing? Like, how did it form? Where did the character come from?
I just did it off the cuff that night because that's just my standard red vest that I've been sewing that Akira thing on. And I'm also gonna add the World Industries label. This was my skater hat. This thing started out navy blue, like all through my skater years as a young dude. This was my World Industries hat. The fucking bill is like worn away around the edge. Like I said, it started dark navy blue. So I'm gonna take this rubber World Industries patch off for nostalgia and throw it on the vest too.
Gotcha. So you're gonna expand the character. It's the little things. So when you study these actors, Tommy, the way they get into character is highly uh, dependent on their costume, like down to the shoes, to everything. And it seems like you're embracing almost that method acting. And I don't just want to emphasize like the meth on your method acting, but it seems like you're doing the Solinsky school of method acting here. I appreciate that, man. I get it.
There is a method to my madness. But yeah, I try to do the specific outfits and stuff per character, but I don't really think I have enough. But in the early days of going on Paul's show, I always showed up as different masked characters, kind of to express what I'd be bringing to the show that day, but they didn't catch on. So yeah, I just like moving it right along. But that's my regular hat, that's my regular vest, and it just worked out because I'm part hick roughneck.
Gotcha. I had a question for you. As you can see, your old friend London Man is currently here in the chat.
Young friend.
What was that?
Young friend. He's probably the youngest in the community, really.
I asked him about his age. He said that you're being deceptive on his age. I asked him. He said he's older than you're saying he is.
Yeah, he probably had a birthday or something. But that only hurts the argument though, because he wants to be young to excuse the way he's been lately. If he's gonna tell me he's old and wise and acting like he's been, it only hurts him more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what would his motive be to lie about his age? Like, what's up?
Well, I've referenced him being 29 whenever he didn't have beef, and he didn't say anything about it. So I don't know. He's probably just nitpicking, man. Probably just splitting hairs.
All right, Tommy, I'm going to get the show started. I'm going to put you in the back. You can hang out back. You can leave. You can eat your breakfast cakes, whatever you're up to. You drinking coffee with the breakfast cakes, or how do you do that?
I do, but I'm not having it right now. Right now, I'm having Kool-Aid and zombie Takis.
That's a hell of a breakfast. All right, Tommy, much love. Maybe we'll talk to you later. Maybe not. Luma Tommy, everybody. I like Tom, man. I'm a Tommy guy. I see a good heart in Tommy. I know not everybody agrees, But I don't know. Like when I think of Tommy, like his energy to me, like his whole vibe, his aura, I just feel like he has good heart, good intentions. So I just do. I know he's wacky, he's kooky. He's got his, his vices, of course, that he's admitted to. Who doesn't? As I mature in life, everyone, I'm realizing the commonalities that we all have as people, and the challenges, the common challenges that we all face here in this incarnation that we call Earth. We have much more commonalities than differences. I'm choosing to focus on those moving forward. I think if we play into their divide and conquer tactics, it only will promote the ones who are in control, the powers that shouldn't be, to the detriment of the rest of us. They want us divided. It's going to be like that. Somebody's got to take the high road in these situations. Somebody has to break the loop. See, Sophia agrees with me. She says she agrees, and commonalities will help band us together. Thank you, Sophia. We're glad to have you here, Sophia. And we're going to thank Jack Talcott, because Sophia was the one who reminded us that Jack Talcott saved her life. If anybody ever wants to say anything disparaging against Jack, remember the case of Sophia. If it wasn't for Mr. Talcott, Sophia may not even be here with us. He saved her life. And we love you for that, Jack, and we love you, Sophia. Green Man says, I thought it was a realm, Z. Earth realm. Here's the thing, Green Man. When you become a flat earther, you start saying things like realm. I'm trying to get away from that because I don't think I need to speak like I'm in a J.R.R. Tolkien fucking novel from Middle Earth just because I embrace a level and horizontal Earth. You know, when I walk around like referring to this world as a realm, the normies kind of, they might have a particular weird response to that. It just becomes a LARP, like he's laughing. Yeah, it becomes a LARP at that point. It's like, oh, we live in a realm. Like I might as well just walk around, like dressed like Gandalf or something. If we're going to live in a realm. Nobody prepares you that. Nobody prepares you for that. Then you discover, oh God, they lied about like space and stuff. Nobody prepares you for the the situation where now you start referring to Earth as a realm. And now all of a sudden you become like a LARPer, like a fucking Renaissance Fair LARPer. It's a little too much for me, Green Man. I'm trying to swing the pendulum back towards the center. Like I said, I'm trying to bridge the gap. Can we bridge the gap? We could try, everybody. We can certainly try. Okay. It's enough goofing around. Let's get this damn show started. Let's get the show on the road. Yeah. Get my sound prepped in the background. Yeah, my chat saying that Tommy was like low energy today. That's okay. You see, I promote like what's been dubbed NPR Tommy because I don't want Tommy to have to feel like that he's stuck into like, some spurged out trope of himself. I don't want Tommy to feel like he's only valuable here if he, maybe is on like some type of, I don't know, like amphetamine regimen. I don't want Tommy to think he's only valuable if he's like in one of his, let's say, as he said, his method acting skits. Emphasis on the meth. Tommy needs to know it's okay to come on and talk about his breakfast cakes and his canned peaches and stuff. We don't have to be tropes of ourselves. We need to settle into the experience here. Yeah, D'Angelo knows. Method. Meth. Ode. Yeah, he says you can't be frosty all day. It's too much. It's too much. All right, let's get the show started. Let's get it started. Come on now. We can do this. Let's break. Let's break through the wall. Let's break through the fourth wall here. Let's create an engaging experience. Part of that's going to be me turning my camera on and reminding everybody that I exist. I am flesh and bone. If you prick me, do I not bleed, ladies and gentlemen? Let's do this. Hey guys, girls, and everything in between, because we accept all the colors of the inverted rainbow here, just as a reminder. So if you're one of those colors in between and you're here at Z Show, rest assured, you will not be discriminated against. We will not show bigotry towards those colors. Got it? Far be it from me to tell you what to do with your life in terms of who you experience your sexuality with. Z doesn't care. I said it anyway. All sex is gross. People are going to think gay sex is gross. Two guys are gross. Okay, fair enough. But I will say this. It's not all sex gross. It is. Okay, maybe pleasurable. We may have like desires and needs. Like Heidi said, when she identified one of her emotions this morning, she identified sexual desire, which is an emotion. Okay, we have that. I get it. But indeed, is not all sex gross. So don't just tell me gay sex is gross. It's not. Well, I'll say this. It's not any grosser than just sex in general. Come on, Gigi Ebulin. Is this the part where you're going to tell me I'm gay? Which is fine. Doesn't detract from the point I'm making. Sex is gross. Think about it. You really think about it. I don't know. I'll let you guys take that where you want. All right. Official opening commencing now. Yeah, come on, everybody. I have a new guest backstage. I see you back there. Please hold for the opening. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising and Grand Approach. Welcome back to Z Show. That's right, Z. That's my name. It's one letter. It stands for Zetetic Warrior, and Zetetic is a word, a real word in the dictionary. It means to proceed by inquiry. That's what I do. I ask questions, all kinds of questions. But what I found is every question answer just leads to like infinitely more questions, evidencing a fractal reality. What a crazy place we live in, and we are broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm that we call Earth. That's right. What do you mean, Z, when you say it's level horizontal? It means when I look at oceans, they just kind of lay there like this. They don't bend to make a goofy globe. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're here to have fun. We're here to experience something. There's going to be laughs, maybe some tears. Either way, it's always a wild ride here on Z Show. Let's go to the chat, everybody. Yeah. Bringing the energy this morning. It's going to be a great morning. I have a guest in the back. I think you're all going to want to, stick around for the next guest. Just saying. Let me get to the chat. See, now I have to scroll to the top of the chat because I was delinquent in my production value here, and I let the chat go all the way down. We know we like to talk to the early risers here on Z Show. Some of you guys are coming in from the west coast of the U.S., a real early riser for you. Others, like a lot of my British compatriots, it's more midday. For some of you, it's tea time. I've asked this question multiple times on my show. Still haven't got an answer. Is tea time still a thing for you Brits? Please, I know I have Brits right now. Please answer the question. I would very much value your input. Is tea time still a thing? Because I'm kind of jealous that you guys have like a tea time. Sometimes I wish we had a tea time here in the States. I'm not sure. Where's my chat? It is glitching out on me. All right, who's here? Who's here? Settle in, everybody. Going to say hi to the chat. Remember how bad my computer is glitching on me. We're still going to do it. Here, let me play some more music as I'm waiting for the chat to come around. Don't you just love that old-timey Hollywood vibe? The programming was much better back in the day. I mean, they had the balls to call it programming. That's the first. But just think of the level, the hubris of these powers that shouldn't be, that as they're programming you, they call it programming. Please stay tuned for your regularly scheduled programming. That's balls. But at least the programming was better. At least it was pleasurable. When I was getting programmed, like back in the day, it felt good. When you watched a movie, you left with like an empowering feeling. I can't watch these new movies. They're horrible. I feel like shit afterwards. They're dissonant. They're like, in so many ways, very low vibe. Anyway, let's say hi to the chat. Coming in and open your eyes, connect dots. Good morning to you. Ruled by Saturn in the house. Much love as always. Nuba coming in from the land of Aussie. Much love. Steve, the HMFIC. Good to see you. Had a fun time in your show last Friday night. Callaway Crusher wants me to come to Flat Earth stuff. We always do Flat Earth stuff here at Callaway. Just hang in. Just hang in. We always do it here. Just part of the general thing that I do. Howdy, Divine Spirit 313 in the house. Mr. Braxton coming in bright and early. Good to see you, good sir. Isabella Live. Morgan in the house. My friend from Canadian land. Much of London McLovin, a.k.a. London Spielsberg, a.k.a. Rebuttal Bar in the house. Good to see you. Pamela Mystical Musing. She's another West Coast person who comes in early. Much love, Pamela. Much love to you. Who else is here? Joe Moore, shalom, good sir. Welcome as always. Rock E. Shepherd, our friend, our Marine friend, checking in as always. Much love, Rocky. Somewhere in Time, good to see you, lovely lady. Green Man, we talked to you this morning. Welcome, good sir. Random Fan, as always. My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Who me in the house? You were the one who came in and started talking about Bubbles and Eric Dubay. I could already tell you're interesting. Who knows? Welcome. Settle in to Z Show. Like I said, all are welcome. All are welcome. Smith W, of course, as always. My friend Smith W. Glyph, buongiorno to you, good sir. Coming to us from the land of Italia, where you can find my ancestors. And the rest. And so many. David Harper, much love. All right. I have a guest. We're going to bring the guest up within moments, within seconds. Let me give my guest the opening he deserves. You may know my guest. He is a broadcaster himself on these YouTube airways. You can find my guest at a channel called We Are Awake TV. We Are Awake TV. Seems like he's been doing his thing. Ian has been doing his thing for a while now. He's built up a channel. He's built up a group of listeners. Slowly. Ian, you appear to have done it, let's call it the right way. You built a channel slowly. You don't appear to have like purchased your subscribers, which I see a lot of channels doing. You didn't go for the easy fix. Yeah, D'Angelo is pumped up. You kind of did it. You came out, you do your thing. You present your channel. You present your message. And you have a nice little channel over there. Some of my very earliest presentation here on YouTube was on We Are Awake TV, where I kind of like, what's the word? That kind of like built my chops, so to speak, there. One of the very first kind of shows that I would join, panels that I would participate in, was on We Are Awake TV. We've had our history, Ian and I. We've gone through this metaversal experience, as many of us do, and it's been quite a journey for the two of us, man. And Ian took a break. He took a hiatus. 5 months, who knows, whatever it is. But he's back now. Many of you know that. And he's back and he's better than ever. And this is actually his first time here on Z Show. I'm looking forward to speaking to him. So with that, and without any further ado, let's welcome him to Z Show. Ian, good to see you, man.
Mic check. What's up, Z?
5x5, good sir. 5x5.
Has been an interesting journey. Good to be here. I went to bed at 6:30 last night so I could be here in time. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You hear that, guys? Ian, that's one of the disadvantages of me doing such an early broadcast, relatively speaking. There's positives to it. But one of the disadvantages is anybody in those Western time zones, it's quite early for them to catch my show live. And as you know, the live component is what attracts many of the listeners. The participating in the chat, the communal aspect of it. It's not just about watching it afterwards for the information. People want that real live experience. One of the downsides of streaming early, but there's positives to it also. I like that morning vibe for myself, so I'm kind of sticking with the morning thing. But either way, man, I appreciate you kind of waking up early and coming here, man. I was
of course.
looking forward to it.
Good to be here. Interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting journey when you came on the channel through Brian back in those streams. It's cool sometimes looking back at those. Good times for sure.
It is very interesting, man. Like I've seen some of those. I've gone through some of the that archival stuff, and interesting. The link really was through Brian Stavely, man.
Yeah, once I did that stream with him, I think I reached out to him, and he emailed me back. Once I interviewed him, that's when the dynamic changed a little bit on the channel.
I remember I found you. I was just going through my subscriptions, and just Stavely said, "Oh, I'm going to be on this channel. I'm going to be live like in 10 minutes, or I'm live now." And it was your channel, and I clicked over, and it was you doing the panel thing. So let's talk about you, Ian. How did you come to this point with your channel, with your content? You do the panel thing, much like many of us, I call it the panelverse, man, the trutherverse, whatever you want to call it. But there's a certain style of YouTube broadcasting that incorporates these panels. Not everybody does it, but the ones who do it share a certain commonality, but we all do it a little differently. How did you go from starting your channel to the panel format that we see today?
That's an interesting question. I think it was always my goal. When I decided to start a YouTube channel in December 2019, I received a Google Chromebook or something. Doesn't even work anymore, but and it said start a YouTube channel. So right at that moment, I was thinking of a name. So my first name was We Are Awake News, which changed to We Are Awake TV a couple years ago or last year. And my goal the entire time was to have a community and have discussions and things like that. That was always my goal. That's where I always wanted to end up. So once we got there, to where I would share the link, actually Flow State was the first one to ever join my panels a couple of years ago. So
wow.
It just kind of happened. I think I was watching people like Bro Sanchez, one of my favorite channels. He would have panels and things like that, and I really liked what he was doing. So it just kind of happened. It wasn't really, but that was my plan all along, to have discussions and things like that. But moving forward, I'm going to be changing it up, doing different things. I have a lot of plans starting today, actually. After I joined your show, I was going to be streaming a lot more and doing different things and do more things with just me and what I think about things, which I haven't done much lately. So I'm going to be doing a lot of things starting today.
I think, I'll be looking forward to that, man. And I think a lot of people will, which is interesting because that probably, I'll just speak for myself, man. Like, I have my show, obviously, but one of the main things I focus on is bringing me to the forefront in my show, because for a number of reasons. One, it gives me an outlet to express myself in a creative way. But two, I realized that it's probably beneficial to become less dependent on other content creators for my content. Meaning to say, when I look at other people who do these panels, I see a lot of people are highly dependent on the people who show up on the panel, right? So they may have a really great show if the right people show up, but maybe one day it's a little sparse, they're not getting the response, and then you see people scrambling for content. So I make an active effort to be able to bring a show where I'm at the forefront, man. And I'm wondering if you're kind of like maybe embracing that maybe a little bit more in this, this iteration of We Are Awake TV, since your break, where maybe you're going to bring, you're going to highlight yourself as an element, which I think is maybe something, from what I could tell by your old content, something that you were into more. And it seems like maybe you're kind of maybe wanting to get back to that, but I don't want to speak for you, but we're definitely going to look forward to that, man, in a lot of fucking ways. I have some people. Yeah, I have some people in the back. If you're in the back, just hold. I'm going to talk to Ian for a little bit. All right.
I want to speak on the flat earth thing because I was watching the thing with Steve. I'm definitely a flat earther. I don't know if the label or something just rubs me the wrong way in the name. I don't know. But I definitely represent, I'm anti-globe, and I definitely represent the flat earth in many places. And I've, a lot of people stopped talking to me because of it, and, family dinners, things like that. So I'm definitely a flat earther, but something about the title of it, I don't know, something about it. They always create these goofy vibe titles for things like that, It's just where I stand with that. But I was watching that. I thought you did a great presentation. I really liked it.
I appreciate that. For me, what it is, Ian, is that I'm realizing that first I'll say I'll agree with you about the title Flat Earth. It's divisive in a reason. It's one of the reasons I embrace the title. So my mindset is, it's almost like it takes the power away from it. It's like, if you have a gay person and you call them the F word, right? If you then, as a gay person, embrace the word and say, yeah, I am an F word, whatever, you then take the power away from the people. So to me, it's almost like ironic in a sense. It's like, okay, if you want to say flat earth is a bad thing, I'm a flat earther. Label me, I'll embrace the label. And it's another way for other people who resonate on that topic to identify me and each other. So, but I do get where you're coming from. There's a pejorative around it. And, but where I am in it, I've come to the point where I realize that, at least here on social media, because I'm a flat earther, that puts me in a very particular category that I'm not going to be able to escape. So I've decided that rather than trying to put it on the shelf or just obscure it, I'm going to jump full in and say, you're right, I'm a flat earther. I'm just going to go with it. Also, it's what I'm most passionate about right now. The reality is, Ian, I may get to a point at some point where I go, okay, I did the flat earth thing. I have it all archived. If you come to my channel and you want to hear the flat earth thing, here's the playlist. You can listen to me for 100 hours go off on flat earth. But I'm not there yet. I'm still in that phase where I want to talk about it. I'm motivated to talk about it, and I'm doing so. But I will agree with you 100%. It is quite a divisive topic. There's a huge division right down the line with it, and it does pigeonhole one in a certain category when they embrace this. I've seen other content creators move away from the topic because they've seen the division and they realize there's a certain demographic of people that you will never reach if you are embracing the flat earth moniker, so to speak. It's going to push people away, and it might prevent them from embracing some of the other topics that one might be discussing on their channel. So any content creator, and I don't mean you, Ian, I'm just speaking in general, who chooses to kind of maybe let's say distance himself from the topic, I can understand that. Like Thunder Chicken says, I'm not a flat earther, I'm a geocentric cosmologist. And again, I appreciate that. I used to call myself a geocentrist too, Thunder Chicken, and that's an apt description. But I've decided to embrace the flat Earth term. You know, like so, my friend like Joe from Effed Up World, who's here, who I respect his content tremendously, says he's a proud flat earther. He's in the same mindset as me. I'll embrace it. I'll say, you want to put the label on me? What's that Eminem song, Ian? I am whatever you say I am. And if I wasn't, why would I say I am? It's like, okay, you want to call me all these fucking things, call me these things, I'll jump right into it. Now I've just disempowered you. I've just taken all your power away. But I appreciate you bringing up the topic and kind of clarifying. And I knew that about you, Ian, just about the things that you've said, the people who resonate to your channel. You know, we see Dave there, not Flat Earth Dave, Sovereign Dave is at your channel. I think people who really know you and your content understand that about you. But I get it. If it's something that you're not highlighting because you see a division there, it's quite understandable, dude.
Yeah, I definitely not gonna do that. I definitely don't try to shy away from it because of sometimes when we're in conversations and it gets derailed to certain topics, I might try to change it up a little bit, you know, and because I know where it goes. But yeah, I love Bro Sanchez is what made me become a flat earther, and watching all of his debates a few years ago. I discovered him in like 2017, and I've probably seen almost all of his videos. I'm a big fan of his. I sit in the background and I've learned a lot from that guy. So yeah, I love flat earth debates. I love those. I think they're great.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic, man. You know, like I had a guy, my friend Rocky Shepard in the chat this morning. He said, you know, it's an old topic. And he's right. I mean, we're going on now 7 or 8 years where this has been a continuing topic. So it is completely fascinating. But there's a lot of topics, man. You seem to be also interested in the Mandela effect quite a bit, which was probably the thing that brought me to your channel, was your interest in the Mandela effect. You don't see at least a lot of these panel-verse communities really focusing on the Mandela effect. There's plenty of channels that do so, some more prominent than others. You seem to be quite interested in it. Maybe bring us into that world a little bit. How did you get interested in it, man? And just what's your experience been?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Mandela effect. I'm actually going to be doing a big stream on the Mandela effect and going through all of them again because I want to fine tune my skills, because at work in different places, I'm now asking people questions about the Mandela effect and just going up to people, asking what they think about, you know, these different ones that, you know, like Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, all these ones that everyone knows. And it's like 100% say it the wrong way. And you can see a difference in them. Like you see like a light bulb went off. So I want to revisit these and fine tune all these different ones when we talk to people, because it's a great way to wake people up for sure. The Mandela effect. So I don't know where it started, just being involved in conspiracies and things like that and seeing people talk about it. And one of my first streams on my channel was me and Svetlana talking about the Mandela effect. So I don't even know how I discovered Brian. You know what it was? It was, what was his name? Who interviewed Brian Staveley. I forgot his name. Ben the Spoon or something. What's his name? I don't even remember. Anyways.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that YouTube.
It's my
name.
favorite topic. Yeah. If I had to choose one topic for something that's just mind-blowing and just can't explain, it'd be the Mandela effect all day. I love it.
Well, let's get into it, because to me, I'm fascinated in a similar way, man, because to me, it speaks to the very fundamental nature of this reality, right? It goes to the core metaphysics of what this place may be. Like you do a series on your channel. I think it's what is this place? Is that the name of the series you do? Because it gets to it. What is this place really? Okay, so let's just get into it. Fine. Some people don't like the topic, Ian, which is fine. If you're not into the topic, maybe just sit back and listen to us talk about it, because I'm certainly fascinated. But when we say what is this place, what does it mean? When we look at certain phenomena, I always point out to people, phenomena are things that exist. They just are. So you take a phenomena like the Mandela effect, where people have a memory of a reality that no longer exists. Something has changed in reality. Now, people will say it's a memory issue, but to get back to what Ian was saying, to call it a memory issue, I think is disingenuous and off the mark, because Like Ian said, if you say go into a grocery store right now, say you go into your local grocery store or Walmart, you shut the doors and you go around, you interview 100 people in that grocery store. 100 people will give you the same wrong answer, or 99% or 98 out of 100. If you say to people, spell Haas avocado, they're going to tell you it's Haas. And then if you bring them to the produce section, you say, look, here's a Haas avocado. No, it's spelled Hass.
I want to say something about that real quick, the hospital, because I've been in food and beverage since I was 15 years old. I've been the executive chef for years. I've been a sous chef. I did one place I worked for 12 years. I did all the ordering for 12 years, created order guides, involved in seasonal ingredients, produce, the whole entire thing for a big place, gigantic place. And it was always Haas avocados, Haas. Like, I wish I could get back to those order guides we used to have, but I mean, I was very in tune with the seasonal things and like now it's the time of year to get Haas avocados or these or whatever, yeah, that was a big one for me, man.
That's a huge one, man. There's so many of them. We can go down the line, I mean, there's so many, man. All the stuff in Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. Everybody will say life is a box of chocolates. It was always apparently in this reality, life was like a box of chocolates. Nobody would ever say was. Why is that? The point is, to say it's just a memory issue is not proven by demonstration, because everybody has the same wrong memories. So to me, this points to a metaphysical aspect to this reality, because they tell us, Ian, that we live in a reality they define a reality for us that's physical as such. They give us a standard model of physics where they talk about particles, okay? Where they talk about things as existing, that they give us a reality where matter existed before consciousness. I constantly talk about this. They tell us everything was formed by a big bang, where nothing became everything, and that despite the law of entropy, where things basically go from more complex to less complex through happenstance and accident, and that over billions and billions of years, the earth was formed, you were formed from a single cell amoeba, and then you evolved into the human being that you are today. This is the story they give you. They give you a story that at some point, the consciousness that we all experience just at some point evolved, that we developed consciousness, that consciousness sprung from the gray matter soupy mess that's contained under our skull. Let's juxtapose that story to what is evidenced in reality. If we're seeing a reality that's fluid and shifting, if we're seeing a reality that appears to be able to change in front of our eyes, that flips the script on that entire story. To me, that evidence is a reality that is consciousness. And I always say this, to me, consciousness appears to be the overarching reality. And the world that we experience as physical is very likely just a manifestation of the consciousness. You see, this discussion of the Mandela effect that people think is frivolous actually gets to the very heart of our existence here in this world, because it is indeed evidence that this reality is less physical as such and more a product of our consciousness, and that indeed we may be participating and co-creating this consciousness as we move on, man. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that topic, and then we could bring it anywhere you want.
That's where I resonate the most with the Mandela effect, is we could be kind of shooting from our hip with our manifestation powers and changing our reality, which I think we're in total control of this as a collective. It's just a bunch of people, manifestation coming together at once. You know what I mean? And I think that we are changing the reality, but we're just not aware of it. Once we have the awareness, then we're not shooting from the hip and all this, So I definitely don't want these topics like flat earth and Mandela effect. You search these on YouTube or wherever, you always get these goofy videos that come. They don't want you paying attention to this. They don't want you to think you're in control of the reality, So yeah, what's causing it is a fascinating question, but I definitely think it's us that's causing it. I don't get this evil vibe with it. Some of the things are so subtle and not hurting anything that it has, you know, that it's not, it doesn't seem like a negative thing to me, for sure.
Right. It doesn't seem to be scary. That's one of the good things about the topic too, to bring people into it, because I've learned through the flat earth thing. When you talk about the flat earth topic, it cuts to the very core of people's identities, and it triggers very strong emotions often during discourse. Mandela effect topic does not seem to have that same effect on people. They seem to be able to handle the conversation a little bit more, which I think is a nice foray for people into some of the things that we discuss and some of these topics. You know, so I appreciate that. You know, like this guy in the chat says, New Age geeks. I'm going to say something about what's termed as New Age. You know, things that are termed as New Age, if you really investigate them, are the topics and ideologies of the New Age actually are some of the oldest understandings that you can find in recorded history. You only say New Age typically relative to a biblical construct of reality, so you call it New Age. The reality is the thoughts, the ideologies of the quote New Age are the most ancient on earth. You can look at the ancient, Vedic cultures preceded by the Aryans. You can look at the Sumerians. You can look at some of the old tablets and writings that were carried into Egypt, which was the land of Chem, which appear to be post or pre-deluvian, which means pre-flood knowledge. The things that people conjecture as New Age are actually some of the oldest writings that we find on this earth, plain and simple. Your thoughts on that, Ian? Because obviously, well, I'll say this, often when we have people who come from a biblical construct, they present these things as New Age and goofy, and I try to show them the Bible that you follow, the scriptures in Genesis appear to be retreads, retellings of older stories from these New Age-like cultures that people don't want to look at. Your thoughts, Ian?
That's a great point. I always point out to people. It's actually technically these religions that they man created are actually technically New Age, and you bring up things that are way older than the Bible and ideas, and people will call it New Age. It's just another programming, you know, with these different things. It's like people have this governor in their minds; they automatically just start flipping out, even with the flat Earth, and people start talking about the globe and space, like family things, and I would bring it up. You see, my whole family turned against me immediately. And it's like I'm this enemy and they're all like attacking me and like bullying me. It's like, what the hell? It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Also, Bible changes with the Mandela effect. That's something I want to get deep into and focus on that, because I remember a lot of things going to church and things like that. Like, isn't the word trespass and trespass is not in the Lord's Prayer or whatever it is anymore, right?
Yes, it's
And
now
I remember
in the
that
sentence.
seeing my family like repeat that, and everyone in the church, and those words I remember more than any words in that whole prayer. And for those words not to be there, that's mind blowing.
Right. Trespass, I believe, is now included in the sentence following the prayer. So there's the Lord's Prayer, and they include the word trespass afterwards, to my knowledge. When you get into the Bible changes, man, it gets deep and heavy because there's so many of them. To me, my primary Bible change is wineskins to bottles. Okay, so there's a verse where it says they make it and there's an analogy to placing new wine into old wineskins. That's gone now. They say bottles, which makes the verse completely nonsensical because it talks about bursting the old wineskins when you put new wine into it, because an old wineskin would be made from, you know, I used to have when I was young I guess you can call it a canteen that would hold liquid that was made out of like leather or some kind of, you know, like animal flesh that was sewed together, but it would hold liquid and you could put liquid in there. That's what a wineskin is. If you used old, like degenerated or degraded wineskins and put new wine in it, it would burst. So that scripture makes sense. It's now bottles, which makes no sense because an old bottle would not burst. right? So now you have these changes that literally make no fucking sense whatsoever. And people who've studied the Bible for a long time can attest to these changes.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it's like at some point these words changed. Did it all do it at once? Did it do it here and there? Imagine the people reading the verses as it, right? You know what I mean? It's like, it's mind blowing to think that. And people like to throw out the internet and the new verse. We all know that that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. You're talking about old ass books hundreds of years ago, the words changing. I mean,
Right.
that's the hottest topic for me.
What I find, Ian, is what people will do is you'll see them enter a state of cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias. And instead of addressing these topics, they'll do everything they can to justify their paradigm. So they'll just do everything they can to explain it away. They'll say, oh, the Bible has many interpretations, but they won't look. They won't look at the different interpretations. They won't look at the original writings, how things might have been translated. Or they'll say, oh, well, things are digital now. And they'll just do everything they can to pacify themselves intellectually and emotionally, because it's too hard for many people to embrace the things that you and I and others like us discuss in these communities. Maybe let's talk about that a little bit. Like you said, you brought up certain understandings that you have to your family, and in many ways it created conflict. We find, many of us in these communities, that when we espouse certain understandings that we have, it creates a division, it creates a separation. It creates a problem in our relationships, whether they may be, quote, romantic relationship or just friendships, family relationships. What is it about it that people, what is it about it with these people who choose to reject even the topics and then even engage in an emotional response that's often shows fear, anxiety, anger? What is it about it that triggers these people? My theory is that it gets to the very heart of their identity, because if you embrace some of the things that we've embraced, it challenges you in a fundamental way. I think they can't take the challenge. And I think to preserve their identity, they fight and they respond emotionally, man. You said this has brought problems in your life. It's brought problems in my life, man. What do you think it is? And then the flip side of it, because it also builds community. We come here and we find people that resonate around us. And if you want, maybe focus on the positive side of it, because it's easy to get caught up in the shitty part. It actually creates friendships too, like all the lovely people I see in the chat, and even the conversation that you and I are having. Let's get it, because Ian, I imagine there's a lot of people listening to us who are experiencing the same thing you said. They go to Thanksgiving and it causes conflict. They've lost relationships. It's not just about flat earth and Mandela effect. It's truth in general, or your conception of truth. Truth seems to have consequences. The consequences of truth are manifest in real life. And I want to hear your experience with that, man. I'm very interested in it. You're muted.
My bad. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what it is, but with people. But yeah, it created a division with me and my family in a lot of ways. But someone like my mom, who I'm really good best friends with, love her more than anyone, I just don't touch on certain topics anymore. Sometimes I can't help myself, but to preserve what we have, because I've seen where we won't talk for months and things like that. I was like, say my truth, and it's like, hang up on me or something, and it's something very mild, like the Mandela effect, or, some big lie she's believing or something. And I just learned to just push it to the side and not even go there with some people. Some people, I don't care who you are, I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to say that's bullshit and give my opinion on what you're talking about. But other family members, we literally, since I brought these things up, total division. I don't know what it is, but it's some deep programming that they worked on since the beginning of time with us in school and things like that. So some people, it's just never I think it's some governor in people's minds that they have. So when certain topics are brought up, they just get in a certain mode and they just can't, no matter how much facts you give them or something that they should. It's like if someone told me this, I would be looking into it, I would consider it and have an open mind no matter what. But a lot of people, they can't do that, so it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It's funny you say that because I've taken that same approach in my life, where I've discovered that to interact with people in a functional way, like your average normie, you really can't bring these topics up. Or if you do, you need to do so carefully, maybe plant a seed and move on. And maybe that's what we just need to do, is plant seeds and move on because of the conflict. But you're right, man. We're the ones who need to take the higher road in these. We need to be humble. We need to be the ones who say, okay, it doesn't have to be about us being right. It doesn't have to be about us trying to wake somebody up. Like the name of Ian's channel, we are awake, you know. I know some people get into the word magic of awake and wake and dead. Let's get beyond that, people. Ian, are you tired of the fucking, slicing up and word magic people? We can maybe discuss that next, but let me just finish my topic here. Is that we are the awake ones, but we're under no obligation to try to wake somebody up. And the reality is, it's probably an aggressive move to do so. It's like taking the sleepwalker and trying to jar him awake. It's probably going to do more harm than good. It's not our job. Their journey is theirs and our journey is ours. We can influence people likely with our behavior and how we model good behavior as opposed to trying to convince somebody. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, one point I want to make I see with some people with certain beliefs and things like that, and they don't want to consider certain things and have an open mind. I believe that sometimes people are on a specific journey, and if they were to consider things or change their minds on things, maybe they would be off a path that they shouldn't be on. So I think some people have belief systems, and I just think, well, maybe that's a part of their journey. And if they were to, not believe in this or have an open mind with this, maybe they wouldn't be on that journey. So maybe subconsciously, they're kind of being controlled to, no, you're not going there. And maybe at some point, we're just planting seeds anyway. So maybe it'll grow at some point. But I think some people are on a specific journey and there's nothing you can say or do. It's like they got to go through it. And so.
Right. That's the question. Can we, the proverbial we, relinquish control? That's a huge thing, is this tendency to want to control things that are external to us. And as one matures, one tends to realize that there's very few things in this world that are under our control. The main thing that we can control is our internal space as much as we can. That's probably the journey. Their journey is theirs alone. So yeah, man, I'm the same place, man. When I interact with people, I just keep it all above board, man. I try to keep it positive, good vibes. I try to meet them where they are, recognize boundaries, not only their boundaries, but my own, and realize their journey is theirs. They'll come to these things if they're supposed to come to these things. They may not be meant for it. That's another thing, Ian, is that, first of all, who are we to think that we know what the truth is, that we can define the truth to then give to somebody? There's a level of hubris and arrogance there that probably should be avoided from any of us. But two, maybe it's not for them to know these things. Maybe there's a reason that these truths were hidden and occulted throughout time from the average person. A lot of these things are hard to handle. They're very difficult. Ian, as far as I know, you don't have any kids and you don't have a family. I don't either, right? Let's juxtapose that with somebody who has 3 kids. They have a job, they have a mortgage, they have a wife, they have standing in their community. How realistic is them for, even mentally, cognitively, emotionally, and psychologically, how realistic is it for them to open it up to some of these things that Ian and I investigate? It may indeed shatter the very foundations of their reality and lead to real life things. Maybe they need that mental barrier. Maybe it's not for them to approach these things. This is sort of where I am, Ian. That's why I'm not blaming people. I'm much less judgmental. towards the average person, because I realize the realities of living in this existence. Okay, you have to have provision, you have to have resources, you have to be part of a community. The things that Ian and I resonate on in many of these communities, because of their divisive nature, they set us out. They bring us away from the collective community. By nature, they do so. When you become separated from the community, your very survival is at stake. We exist as social creatures, communal creatures. There's real life impacts of being ostracized by your community. You may be part of a religious community, you may be part of another culture, etc., etc. For somebody to embrace and then espouse these topics can be quite consequential in their life. I don't blame people anymore, Ian. If they want to live, if they're choosing to live in their status quo, if they're choosing the fantasy, if they want to ignore these certain truths out of necessity, I think I'm okay with it, Ian. I've come to a point of resolution there, man. And I want to hear your thoughts. And I do have guests in the back. Please hold. I'll bring you up when the time's right.
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm chilling. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think there's a line though. Sometimes I can see people like, dude, they tell me like, Ian, bro, I love you, man, but you know, I have a family and this. See, I understand. I completely understand. But then there's a line where people, I don't know. You can't deny the truth though, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. If I had kids and a family and all that stuff and more, like you said, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. So it is what it is, you know. But I do understand families and things like that totally. But I think you can balance the both at the same time. You can't be completely oblivious just because you have a family and not, you know. So I understand.
All right, let's start bringing some people up.
Yeah.
All right, so the first person I have in the back, Ian, interestingly enough, is one Mr. Caged Reality.
Oh, wow.
He decided to pop up. I met Cage on your channel. Many of my first interactions with Cage were quite lively and spirited, you know. So hold on, real quick. This who me in the chat says, Zetetic Warrior, I respect you for not banning me yet. Well, here's the thing. If you have to say that, who me, if you're saying that to me, why are you behaving in a way where I would even need to ban you? That's what I'm saying. You can come here, you could disagree with the topics here. And I haven't even been able to read all your chats. You can disagree. You know, people say to me, oh, anybody who disagrees with you, Z, you're going to ban. That's not it. But if somebody's going to come here and just straight troll me, I'm likely going to ban you. And you'll probably make a sock account. I'll have to ban that, and we'll get into that game. But it's weird that you would say you respect me for that. Because, like, are you behaving in a way where I should be banning you? Because maybe that's not respect worthy on my point. Ian, what do you think about that? Where people come in? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I just want to get on record real quick because Snafu was on Steve's stream with you guys bringing up this Mexico alien thing. I thought he was really muttering the waters with that. That whole Mexico thing where they came out with those little alien bodies and things like that.
Yeah.
That was from a ufologist who was involved with Ancient Aliens production, was involved with many hoaxes and fake news and fake evidence of aliens. Do the research on the group that brought that out. It was a total hoax. I just want to put that on record, you know.
Well, here's the thing, Ian. I mean, guys, if anything mainstream that's being presented to you, it's always going to be through the lens of their agenda. They have to present us the alien thing. There's too many strange phenomena that happen in people's lives. They have to bring you the conspiracy theories, but they're always going to do it from their, let's say, controlled operative perspective. They have to do it. That's what controlled opposition is. People aren't that dumb. They have to give it to you. People see weird things happen in the sky. They have to try to give you their version of what it is. It's just the way it is. But let's bring up Cage, because Cage, let's bring this thing full circle, because I met Cage on Ian's show, and now here he is. Cage, what do you have for us this morning, good sir?
What's up, Cage?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm just
Howdy,
here. I'm
howdy.
listening. I have so many different things I can get into with what you've been saying. You know, from the short period I've been listening here. But it depends. What do you want to get into? I don't want to, go off on a tangent here.
Well, let's get into you, because I know, Cage, we can talk about the electromagnetic world that we live in. We can talk about Malkuth, which is a word you introduced me to, and I'm fascinated with it.
That's Kabbalah, right?
Right. We can talk about Malkuth, which is the kingdom of matter, but I'd rather talk about you, Cage.
Well, Malkuth is it's actually translated really to the kingdom, meaning like the material kingdom, the world, this physical world we're living in, represented by the red.
Right. Fair enough. But let's talk about you, because we're here with Ian this morning. I met you on Ian's channel. How did you come upon Ian? How did you stumble into the We Are Awake community?
Same way I found everything else, really. I actually was never on the internet at all, just for business only until around, the whole cough lockdown nonsense. And then from there, I realized that people are online. All you got to do is you type open panel, or you type panel into the YouTube search. And if you go to filters and you go to live, it'll pull up, whoever's doing a live stream. So I just randomly found people because I wanted to know what people are experiencing, because I obviously know the media is nonsense. I know they're going to give a bunch of bullshit. So I'd rather go and investigate and see what the people actually have to say about it, instead of what they're trying to push on to me. So how I got into the internet thing was to see the real news, see what's actually going on, instead of that, sensationalized bullshit they push onto, everybody. So that's how I got into it.
Good for you. Good for you, Mr. Caged Reality. That's probably how many of us came upon these. It's weird how we've all sort of filtered into these communities. What do you guys think? Because I'm noticing that whatever algorithms that they're using have placed us into a particular echo chamber. When I go to these different channels in here, we're seeing the same people over and over again, and we're kind of Ian, I'm looking to escape the echo chamber for multiple reasons.
Z, can I go on to that?
Are you just going to cut me off, Cage, on my show? You know I love you. Go ahead, Cage, please. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry for that, Z, but I've actually been pondering that myself. Right, how come we're all connected into this stuff, right? And there's even people that live very close to everything. Why I think it is, I think it's done very purposefully, right? They've already categorized and put us all into a little bubble, and now they're letting us interact in that bubble or that cage, and it's kind of restricting people in a way, inadvertently, when you think it's their own choice, right?
I don't think it's a victory for them. I think it's a victory for us.
No,
I think there's something
you
energetically
can
going
flip
on
it
with these
around,
different
yeah.
communities, even the fuse and things like that. We're all stuck together energetically, and new people are coming along. I think we're creating something special we don't realize. I think it's a great thing. I think it's the best way we can combat what's going on.
Interesting point. So you're seeing it from the other way. You're saying, look, this is like the cream rising, so to speak. You're seeing a bunch of people from all around the world resonating in a certain way that's kind of coming together. Let's talk about that, Ian, because although I can agree with you, we see a lot of conflict amongst these communities. Obviously, with some of the past that you and I have had, we can look at other, let's say, metaversal friends that maybe we see some of these kind of beefs with. If indeed we are resonating so much, what is it about the division? Is this just infighting? Are we just looking at infighting amongst a group, almost like how a family would fight, or do you see it? What's your take on that? Because I can agree with
Yeah,
what
I
you're
want
saying.
to. I'm glad you went here.
Ordo ab chaos.
Hold
No,
on, Cage. I'm going to let you up.
So
Don't
when
go
I came
anywhere,
back,
Cage. Relax.
one thing people got to notice is I might have looked a little foolish, but it's a sacrifice that I made coming back the way I did. I had a totally different plan.
I understand
And,
what you did, Ian. I understand your mindset. Go ahead.
But I just want to say, when I did, what happened? What really happened? Forget about what I said and all that in the stream and when I came on OTWs. What happened after? OTW stopped getting punked like a little bitch. Mr. Gossip Boy stopped gossiping. it's like everyone just went on this new. It was this little ripple that I sent, and everyone kind of got in line a little bit. I wasn't, I felt like that's what I needed to do. But if you really look at how things change, it's it. I think it was great.
Yeah, I can see that, man. I think there's two sides to it. I think that one as a content creator has to like judge how they how they're going to behave in certain situations and kind of make your move and go with it. Always realizing that there's room for pivoting and things like that. But what I see? I think that as time goes on, the ones who are in this, like for the real, are just going to keep pursuing with their content. They're going to keep being creative, and they're going to go. And then I think what's going to happen is a lot of these issues will just naturally resolve as new topics come in, as new people come in, as the landscape in the world changes, as the landscape online changes. I think many things will just kind of progress. People will develop their audiences because the reality is we all bring something very unique and distinctive to this endeavor. We don't really need to be at each other's necks in terms of audience. Okay, we're all unique enough, and if we're confident enough in what we bring and our intentions, we should be able to pursue through these things. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen. It's as we go, you're going to see less and less of this. Part of me, Ian, thinks we're going to look on back on these times as like the good old days, man, because if the world keeps progressing in the way it is, Z, We Are Awake TV, OTW News, Paul Unslaved, we all have integral key roles to play in this world. Our voices mean something. I look at this community as something very special. It's not frivolous to me, Ian. And when people say stuff like, oh, you guys take this too seriously, I say no. Who else but us is bringing this information? Who is bringing us truth without agenda, without a mainstream supported spin? Why do you think they're so hell-bent on keeping us in these echo chambers and shadow banning us and keeping us out of the algorithms? This isn't just bullshit. So if we believe in what we're doing, we are going to persevere, and we will progress over time, even if it's slowly. Each of us has something special to bring and unique to bring to these conversations. The division at this point is tired. It's played out. There's enough division in the world where we don't have to fucking be at each other's necks. Now, we can call each other out on things. We can hold each other accountable. But to destroy each other is that. Because to engage in battles with each other, we just weaken each other. We weaken the community. I don't think the listeners are even interested in it anymore, Ian. I think the listeners are over it, man. I think they're fucking ready to move on. I think we're ready to move on. Now, we'll see where things go. But I think if we keep ourselves in a limited mindset, we're doing not only ourselves a disservice and the listeners, but we're doing the truth a disservice, whatever that may be. I think these things are going to pan out naturally. I think as the world continues to come apart at the seams, if that's what happens, not fear porn, you're going to find that these communities are more and more important as time moves forward. Okay. Of course, there's fun and games. There's always an entertainment component, but I think the listeners want more. I don't think they're here for the fucking bullshit. And like I said, I think it's going to move. Let's bring Cage back up. I don't want to just shelf him.
Yeah, I like what you said. Cage.
Agreed. You don't want to everyone's in a self-imposed cage, no matter what it is how you're in Malkuth, for example, in this reality. It's through the subconscious mind and the program that's instilled into you. So now you come to a road, right? You come to a crossroad. Are you gonna create your? Now you're gonna put the goofy music on, but are you gonna create your own program, or are you gonna get programmed by someone else? Because someone else will do it and continue your fucking retarded music.
Come on, Cage. Why'd you stop? The crowd wants your music when you come on, dude. They want that.
That you created and you randomly put my voice over and remixed it and created the music apparently too. You have a lot of time in your hands, see.
Why don't you embrace it? This is an homage to you. I took the time and I made the soundtrack for you, especially. This is an original Z production.
All right, so enjoy it. Do you want to hear the fucking truth? You really want to hear the unadulterated truth, really, that's unapologetic? Is that what you really want?
Okay, so I'll turn the music off. Floor is yours. Give us the unadulterated, unapologetic truth according to you.
On what topic? What do you want to know? Ask and you shall find.
There he is. You're muted.
We can't hear you, Tom.
Cage reminds me of, like, if Singular Illumination was a punk act, it would be like Cage. Like,
Well,
Singular
Tommy,
Illumination, but like
Tommy,
a new one.
hopefully I can get on your level. I can wear a funny hat like you and Ian and
It's a
Tommy.
tinfoil
Hopefully I
hat.
can wear a funny hat like you guys one day.
That's a tinfoil hat.
You got a hard hat, a beanie, and a backwards fucking whatever.
And you
Bro,
got
I
a
need a
bag of
funny hat like you
pierogies.
guys. I got a bag of frozen pierogies, and I'm sharing with everybody.
Cage gets a lot into manifestation and things like that. It's interesting. I've learned quite a few
Pierogies are
things
bad.
from his channel.
It's all
So-
a program. Yeah, if you actually pay attention, you know much fucking it's actual knowledge. Like you guys want to fight about like you guys want to fight, yell about each other, you know. Oh, let's make fun of each other. It's fucking nonsense. Get back to the real.
No,
you guys are even
it's
playing
fun.
on the board.
It's required. It's that whole iron.
Yeah, we did
sharpened
yeah
iron.
for the pawns. The pawns are
No,
useless and
it's the
just
iron
used.
sharp. Listen. I'm cool with the community, but anytime you guys want to square off on shape debate, you know I'll take that globe respectably. I'm the one that brought Ian. Discworld is the friend term for flat earthers, since flat earthers is like derogatory. Discworld is my flat earth friend. I just got sloppy with it after Ian left.
So, Tommy, I bring you up and you just go right back to the Discworld thing.
No, I'm putting it to Cage. What I wanted to tell Ian is, Ian, with the Mandela effect thing, because I'm on board with that. You, as an individual, as the host of that Mandela show, you need to bring as many Mandela effects as you can. But each individual, you have to find the one that's like their Mandela effect. Like growing up, my dad was a Ford truck guy, and that's why nobody can tell me that curly Q thing was on the out of the F, like it was always inside the O. And no one can tell me that it was like this weird hoop on the F. Nah, man, it was in the O. But that's mine, you know, like somebody else could be on that Berenstain Bears tip and you won't be able to tell them different.
That's a good one. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Basically, I'm going to do like a 500 Mandela effects show. And we're going to go through each one, the ones that are most in our minds, that are our top ones in the chat, and share those and go over all the evidence we see on it and categorize them in numbers. And like the ones that are the most, like if I was to talk to somebody, okay, I got my top 10, I can ask them, you know? So we already did the Mandela effect revolution, and I have a huge list of about 300 Mandela effects. I'm going to revisit that, start over again, and really go through all of these.
Ian, can I comment on that whole Mandela effect thing? Because I actually
what do you think that is? I'm curious what you think.
Through my research, what I've realized is, okay, for example, the comedics or the hermetic principles, one of the first principle is really the universe is mental. So it's all really a projection or electromagnetic hologram being projected outside of you. And if you actually look into it, you look into the brain and the structure, you know, the hardware that's projecting this. There's something called magnetozones, which are chains of magnetite crystals in your mind that actually have an effect through, you know, like the Earth's magnetic field, and then also synthetic or artificial magnetic fields that are being generated through the population.
So you're saying like if I change the Snow White movie to do something else, or if it changed like people's minds did that, like, or is it just happening, but we're not like kind of, you know, we're not really aiming at changing things. It's just happening randomly. Can we fine tune that? Or,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course. Yeah, it's almost like a fire, right? Like if you have a fire that's raging, a forest fire, you can either have a controlled burn and kind of like it's almost like electricity, right? You can direct it through a transformer, a relay. You know, you can make it have a use, or you can just let it go by itself, like you know, unchecked. It'll, you know, and it'll still, the energy's still there. So it's all about the observer and what level of understanding you're on, and what you can do with that. You know, this is reality.
Right on, Cage. Cage, good stuff as always. I have more people that want to say hi to Ian in the back. Cage, final thoughts for the listening audience today, good sir. Cagey boy.
Yeet him.
That's exactly.
Ian, have
what
you heard the theory that,
the
like,
silence,
Hold
the
on.
silence is-
Cage,
the
you dropped
silence
out.
is-
Hold on, Cage. I'm gonna bring other people up. I'm gonna open the panel up a little more. So I'm gonna let you go, dude. Good thoughts as always, Cage.
Yeah. The silence is the point. You have to listen. You have to learn to read in between the lines. Have level of discernment in this reality, because most of this shit is nonsense. So, like John Cage, if you look into music theory, he had one very famous song, and it was complete silence the entire time. 3 minutes of silence. So that's what it is.
So the song was
Cage.
no song. Unbelievable.
read between those lines, buddy.
And that's a fuck off, Cage. Love you guys.
Hoist him.
Love a fuck off.
Back at you, Cage.
Let's
Back
cook.
at you.
All right.
I'm always gonna remember Cage because he taught me the word Malkuth. I've been like researching Malkuth now because of Cage, and
This is
I
my
get s-
secret weapon.
I get stuck on certain things.
I've been in the process of discerning what Bible changes would have been the Mandela effect compared to the changes that are happening by man's hand. This is the Bible my pastor in my hometown gave me, I think, when I graduated like high school. So it won't be
Come on,
affected
Tommy,
by the...
speed it up. Speed. I got other people I want to get up here. I'll leave you
All
up.
right, all right.
Leave you
So
up.
some changes are being made by different versions of the Bible, like they're removing the verse of how to remove demons by fasting and prayer. But if the chat can drop the verses of like wolf lays with the lion, or forgive us our debtors as we forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. If they can drop the
Right.
passages, I'll check them. But Ian, have you heard the theory that the world was gonna end and like CERN did something?
Hold
to
on. I love
save
you,
us?
Tommy, but my instincts are telling me to shelf you for a second. Ian, you know when you're streaming, you just have like an instinct. I'm learning more and more just to go with my instincts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, I will have an instinct about something and I won't act on it, and then reviewing it, it's like, wow. So yeah, you definitely got to follow that.
Yeah. And Tommy,
Or
like,
you'll
look,
regret it.
Tommy, you know I love you. Like, I might be the #1 Tommy fan here in these YouTube airways, but I
we'll
just have to
save
go.
the good stuff for Ian's show. We'll just save the good stuff for Ian's show.
Yeah. By the way, so Ian's going to be broadcasting a little late, like this afternoon where I am. So
I might change it up a little bit, but I'll definitely be doing something later today.
Gotcha. So I've dropped two. I've dropped a number of links to Ian's channel in the chat, and I'll do so in a moment.
that.
So you head over to We Are Awake TV. Links have been in the chat multiple times. I'll drop more. Support Ian as he's back. Ian, you were gone for a number of months, but you came back in your first stream. It looks like you were right back to where you left off. Now,
Right.
I noticed that when I went away, Ian, is like I got my initial bump, but then it backed off a little bit, and I had to get people kind of back into it, you know? So I do see ups and downs. Let's let some other people up. Sophia, I do see you. Please hold, but I have this me who showed up to my channel today. They thanked me for not banning them for maybe some apparent trolling. Me, I'm going to bring you up. Can you hear me, good sir or ma'am? Me? You're live. Can you hear me, me? No, me. All right. Maybe we'll check back with you later. But again, Ian, back to the instincts, man. Sometimes just an icon and one comment is amazing insight. You could almost like the instinct comes in and
Right. through
Is
the
that
internet
weird?
too, you can feel people energetically just looking at their avatar, them typing in the chat, like different people I became really close to. It's like first time I saw them, I felt something. It was just like you can totally shows you how powerful we are. I can
Yeah.
feel someone's energy through a chat room.
Speaking about energy, my next guest, Sophia, she has really good energy. We were introduced to her through Mr. Jack Talcott, and now she comes here on the Z Show, and she always has very nice things to say. Good aura. She was immortalized, as I said earlier in the show. Her comment, Jack Talcott saved my life, has now been immortalized in metaversal history. Let's bring her up. I don't know if Sophia and Ian have met each other, but I imagine Sophia would probably really resonate well with the We Are Awake TV community. Sophia, hi. Welcome to the show this morning.
Hello. Excuse me. Hello. Nice to meet you, Ian.
Nice to meet you, Sophia. I've definitely heard you on a couple panels before. Yep.
Thank you, Z, for allowing me to hop on real quick. I want to address something that you said just a minute ago, talking about all these different communities that are on YouTube and how we have had the back and forths and I guess the infighting, for lack of a better way to say it. But at the end of the day, it's this kind of group of people who are going to see what's going on, who are going to be prepared, who are going to wake up and say, oh, that's what they were talking about. And this is what I needed to know. And this is why this happened. And this is why that happened, etc. I look at it that way, that we need each other because we have a common enemy, and it's not each other. It's the evil forces in this world, unfortunately, that they are doing many things. I do believe they've, the CERN situation, and even sometimes I think they can mess with our weather. I mean, I think they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff because they know they're found out. They know that we know, and they're not happy about it. So they're ramping things up. But on that note, here's my main reason that I wanted to try to speak and share this morning. For me, I prefer to stay as connected and as close to the Most High as I possibly can, because I know that there is a day coming that the imposter, the Antichrist, will arrive. He will have all the answers. He will sit on the throne of King Solomon, which, they're trying to rebuild the temple of King Solomon that was destroyed twice. This person is going to be sitting on that throne and going to have all the answers and going to make everything okay. And people who are not already connected to the true Most High, they're going to be deceived. And it's not going to be good. And when the people that are in this world that do have the Holy Spirit within them and that are connected and do understand about creation, I believe we live on a flat earth. You can laugh at me all you want to. My Bible says it's a firmament. And I think we've been lied to. I think NASA's horrible. CGI is a cartoon. Like, you watch that video footage, like, that's a total cartoon. Like, how can anybody not see that? But I'll try to cut to the chase. Like, be connected in your spirit to the Most High so that you are not deceived when this person appears. Because, see, things got to get so bad, and they're ramping up fast. Things are going to get so bad that people are going to be begging for answers. People are going to be, I think the Bible says, men's hearts will be failing them for fear. So they'll believe this imposter that allegedly has all the answers. And there will be a time of peace, but then all hell will truly break loose. And I fear for the people who don't want anything to do with the Most High, because they will be deceived. And it will be horrific. You know, Tommy gets on me because he says I'm too much about the love of Christ and that I'm too oh, I don't know. You know, me and Tommy are a little different with this, but I get where Tommy is when he talks about it. I get what he's saying, because when Christ returns, it will not be as a gentle little baby. It will be to redeem humanity, and it will be real, and it will happen. And even though they're messing with the Bible, they're messing with what has been written to try to use it to their benefit and to try to deceive people. They can try all they want, but God's will prevail, and God will take care of things. He will make those who have been evil. There will be a day of reckoning.
So
They will have
Sophia,
to pay for what they've done to children. They'll have to pay for a lot of things.
Sophia, it seems as though you kind of see this as a spiritual battle, so to speak, and you kind of see these communities as like some place where these spiritual warriors can, in a sense, link up, communicate with each other. I like that. I'm
I
with that.
absolutely believe that. Yes, we
Yeah.
are in a spiritual battle.
I like that.
We are.
All right, Sophia, any final thoughts? Because I want to bring some more people in
No.
to talk to Ian. It was good talking to you
Thank
this
you
morning.
so much for letting me
Yeah.
up. And I know that not everyone will resonate with what I say, but that's okay. Everyone has to figure out, you know, which way they want to go. They got to figure it out. So thanks so much. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too. What's going on with my clicker back here? Special K.
Yo.
Howdy, K. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Ian, brother. Z, what's up, man?
Howdy. What do you got for us
It's good
this
to
morning?
see you guys. I just woke up, so I missed your show. I just wanted to come up and say what's up, Ian. I fucking missed your first live, but I rewatched it all, and I'm glad you really went over everything and addressed it all.
There you go, Ian. See, a new listener who's glad you went through it. What did you like about Ian's stream? Going through things, clarifying things. What was it?
First of all, I really liked Z. I think you did the right thing. I think you fucking went up there and, you know, addressed how you went through what you did go through. And I think everything really stems from that. I'm going to say how I feel and what I've seen through the past. And I mean, I've gotten, you know, I've left the metaverse behind. My boyfriend has always had a bad vibe and has wanted to punch him through the screen. Honest to God, I mean, he's only liked pretty much Z's channel and has only talked to him through here. And I mean, I'm gonna say how it is. Like, Ian, going up on OTW and seeing you like tell your boy, like, I mean, to find out you like knew him beyond the metaverse was shocking too. Like how he's been treating him and totally just check it, like saying what it is, man. Like I give you props for that, mad props, because I felt
Ian, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I'm glad you said it, because there's another point I want to make. By the way, he deleted the stream.
You're kidding me.
The next day. Yeah, he deleted the stream. Of course he did. That says a lot as well.
I was thinking that.
Why would you delete that stream?
Go watch it. I
wonder
tried
why.
to go to his channel and
Patrick does not typically delete his streams. That's him.
That may be Cheese doing it. That's the Cheese doing it. So I don't even address his name anymore. I have no respect at all for anything he does or says. I think it more so is a cult, because it seems to be that people are just locked in and just literally nod their head while he talks.
I know. I
the
appreciate
entire
that,
time.
Special K, but I'm not sure we need to go down these roads in the spirit of moving forward.
Bro.
I know you are. I know you
I
are.
know.
Of course.
And I appreciate you guys both, Ian. I'm sure because I'm about the whole CERN thing. I want to definitely get more information on like the Mandela stuff, because the Berenstain Bear things that's what I grew up on, bro. I don't know if you're what age
Yep.
era you are, but I'm 85, and I mean that's those used to be my favorite books. My mom still has them all, and when that like totally shocked me, like, so I'm really interested in a lot of that too. I know a lot of people say it's nonsense or whatever, but I'm to see what you have to offer, and I'll be watching for sure, man. You got a new
Thank
sub
you.
for sure. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you, and
Burns.
I just wanted to come up and say hello.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you. Yeah, I'm around the same age. Born in the early 80s, so Bernstein Bears for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was the big one for
That's
me.
what's up, man. Yeah, and then the Luke, I am your father. That changed. I wasn't really all about Star Wars, but I know that's what was said. And now it's just like I am your father or some bullshit. So I just wanted to come up and say hi. What's up to Z? I'm usually here. I know it's an early show, so I was late today, but I'm glad you made it up here, Ian, and I appreciate you, Z. You know I got love for you, bro. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna let you guys go and keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. I got love for y'all.
Back at
Much
you,
love.
Kay. Back at you.
All right, peace out.
Mr. Cage is back, and he's showing me in the. I see you, Cage. I'm going to bring you up. So unless you want the world to see you, take your camera off. Why are you showing me yourself, Kate? What are we doing here? Why do you have sunglasses on? Cage, you're going to do an unveiling here on Z Show? Are you ready to do that?
People are already seeing it. People know what I look like.
Well, not everybody. Are you doing it? Why were you just doing that? What's with the sunglasses, bro?
Is that what you expected me to look like?
Go ahead. Show. I've seen you before. Show the world. World, here it is. Caged reality in the flesh. You going to do it or not?
Well, now you said I'm not going to do it.
Everybody's so touchy, man. Why are you back? I thought we already did. Didn't we just do the goodbyes and stuff, and we went into everything, and didn't that? And he's showing me himself. Oh, there he is. There's Cage, everybody.
Nice.
He's not just a fucking like an AI. He's real flesh and blood. This is the guy right here, and he's Canadian. Kind of looks like a heavy hitter. What are you showing us? Masonic symbols? Is that Masonic? How come all you Masons have to flash your symbols when you come up? What's with that?
It's just the dice. It's the die, bro. There you go.
Yeah.
He's the real person. Woo! There you go. There you go. Go take your notes, take your screenshot, whatever you want.
What do you want? Why are you here? Didn't we just say goodbye and all that? What is this? I don't understand. What's going on? You forgot we said goodbye? You wanted to come? What's going on here?
Let's get into the conversation.
Go ahead. What are we talking to? Get out of here, man. I'm going with the instinct again. Unbelievable. Keep this moving. Holy crap! All right, Ian. I don't want to keep you on too long, man. This was fun today. I'm glad you set your alarm. I'm glad you came on. And I know you're going live later, dude. Which is cool.
Yeah, I'll be live a lot more. I was gonna after I come on here. I was planning on kind of hitting the ground running on the channel and stuff. So, and appearing a lot more. I'll be coming up here more as well. If I'm up, and you're live for sure. So
I appreciate that, man. So it seems like you're moving towards kind of being a little bit more out there. I know you mentioned that to me previously. You're going to kind of make yourself known on these panels and things like that.
Right.
I think we could all look forward to. Do you have any creators right now that you kind of are interested in? Maybe building a relationship with, doing collaborations. Who are you paying attention to right now? Who's got your eye?
Illumitommy's one of them.
That makes two of us. What is it about Illumitommy that's so fucking fascinating, dude? What the fuck is it about the guy?
I love Illumitommy. I watched one of his streams he did maybe a week ago or something, and I was watching that, and I was fascinated, man. I was so entertained. So maybe we'll be doing something soon. So I want to do a bunch of what is this place with different people. It could be anybody. Anybody that wants to talk about what this place is to them. No big content creators in particular right now, but we'll see what happens. Definitely want to connect with the community more, and we'll be getting a Lumatomy on probably soon here.
Hey, Mr.
Tom?
Semitic creature, what's with the cage creature sitting in his dark hovel? Just sitting in the dark hovel all alone, the cage creature. I had to do it once.
Is that your Paulie impersonation? My Paul Enslaved impression goes to like a old-timey Prohibition era Chicago mobster. Mine's more like this, Tommy. It's more like yeah, she like I go with that, man. For some reason, I go with that version. Like, yeah, she, you don't YouTube like me. You don't sovereign sit like me. You don't lick pussy like me. Like I go to that, man.
His voice is turning into Eek the cat.
Who the fuck is Eek the cat? I don't know who that is.
It was a Saturday morning cartoon, but that's the closest voice I can hear that his voice is turning toward. His voice has changed over the year.
In which way? Let me hear it.
I don't know, like just the way he is getting kind of the New York Jewy. He's getting kind of, I don't know, he gets kind of Saul Rosenberg-y, but I think it's going more Eek the cat in the long run. He's becoming a caricature of himself.
Yeah, you think so? Mm-hmm. I think that happens to all of us here, Tommy, as we progress with our presentment, is we almost start to caricaturize ourselves. I would agree with that, man. I think that's just part of the process, dude.
Yeah, it's like saying we're all seeking attention because we made a channel and come on camera. It's like we're all a bunch of attention seekers. It's like, yeah, I always watch that YouTuber that doesn't show up. What, you guys cam off on me? Jesus.
Hold on, I'm doing stuff in the background. I'll cam up again. We're concentrating on you, Tommy, the unfiltered Tommy this morning. That's what we're commenting on.
But I want to just give Ian, just so he doesn't let himself down in the future, I think we all have gone through times where we felt like an event would be a turning point for the better. And these motherfuckers tomorrow will just revert back to, like, we'll either change or we won't. But I've had so many, like, before the event, after the events, while you were gone.
If they do that,
the community's got to shape up now.
Here's the thing: if they want to loop, let them loop. That's on them.
Well, it is a thing that Ian is back, and it's like a turning point for everybody to be like, ooh, refresh, new. But I wouldn't look for too much settled change. You know how this crew does. You know how these people do, if we can call them people.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, we're gonna let Lumatomy go. We're gonna let Ian go.
Yeah,
and
thanks, Z. Much love, everyone. I'll be listening in. Thanks again for having me. Pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, Ian, man.
Much love, man.
Link to Ian's channel is in the chat, everybody. We Are Awake TV.
Thank you. Thank you. Much love.
Back at you, my man. Back at you. I see you back there, Rock.
Was that down in the chat asking why it's dark where he is and light where we are, saying that is flat? Like, flat is why it's dark and light?
Why are you always bringing it back to this topic? Yeah, I mean,
I just had to. It was in the moment that Natch was asking.
It's a non sequitur. You love Natch. Why do you say you and Natch appear to have problems? But I think you like Natch more than you let on.
I don't dislike Natch. I just hold his Gasian feet to the fire.
His binded geisha feet. What are you saying?
His Gasian feet, yeah. Instead of smashing him up in the little geisha shoes, which was horrific, I just hold him to the fire.
Unbelievable. Rocky,
you know, they used to smash their feet up in the shoes.
Yeah, they'd bind their feet, and smash them up. The Japanese geisha women. It was quite a
They
horrific
fought.
experience, you know.
And technically, that's where these alien skulls came from. There's an African tribe that just stretches their skull. I'm jealous because I need to have my plates realigned. But yeah, it's not aliens. They just stretch their skull.
We have a guest, Tommy. Let's talk to
Hello,
Rocky
guest.
Shepherd. Rocky, what's going on this morning? Rocky, you were active in the chat. What's your take this morning? Let's hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good sir.
I'm doing good. I just listening.
Nice.
He's also not Thomas James. Everybody was asking him if he was Thomas James. I wondered too.
Who's
What
Thomas
do you-
James?
He's another guy in the community, but I think you have chat.
Jesus, Tom, take a break. What's up, Rock? Rock, you are going hard on the Jesus. Let's just say you are quite scriptural in your understandings in your presentation. It seems as though you feel like any conversations that lead away from that topic may be less than fruitful. What would you like to say regarding that?
Yeah, that's true. I don't like the. I like Sophia. I like what she said.
Tell us why. You've been through a lot. I mean, you have a lot of experiences in this world. You've done a lot of things, good sir. Why are you currently resonating on the? We could just call it the Christian topic, call it the Christ topic, the way, whatever you want. Why are you there? Why are you resonating there?
Well, I can see Bible prophecy happening right in front of me. It's going on right now.
Yeah.
Can't you see it?
In which ways, man? In the wars, the rumors of war, the Gog Magog presentation of the current Middle East conflict, Russia, Ukraine, et cetera, et cetera. You feel as though that Bible prophecy is being played out before us?
Yeah.
What's one to do? How do we respond, Rock? Should we be scared, shaking in our boots like a lot of people are going to be? What's the response?
Should be excited.
Do tell. Okay, so we know there's 27 different emotions. Excitement is one of them. Most people would probably be fearful or horrified, which is another emotion, but you feel as though excitement would be the appropriate emotion. Please explain.
It means that if you're a Christian.
Let me take this one, Rock. Let me take this one. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Christians do not need to fear because we have been given the signs to know the end is coming. And believers also see these signs. And I'm sure Rocky's had my experience where you describe how obvious these signs are. And people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see it. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy like that.
Yeah. What's your name?
Tom. Tommy, Thomas, whatever's not taken.
Oh. You're Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to forgive that globe thing, but the rest we can probably cook on. But like I was saying, this is a pre-Mandela effect Bible, so I use it to test the biblical Mandela effects. And there are some that are just printing changes beyond the King James Version. I believe that the King James Version is the most protected or...
oh my God, he's extra spurgy, man. He's extra spurgy.
I don't know. I studied from the Greek myself, the original languages.
You studied the original Greek. They say the New Testament was written in Greek. That's correct. The Old Testament was the ancient Hebrew or Paleo-Hebrew. But
it was also written in Greek 200 years before Christ.
All right, so now you're bringing a whole new thing. Hold on a second. because the common conception is that the New Testament was written significantly before the time of Christ. You're saying it was written 200 years before Christ and in Greek.
No, it was
That's not the
translated.
That's not
It
the
was
common understanding.
translated from the Hebrew to
Got
Greek
you. Okay, thank
for
you.
for the people who were under Rome who spoke Greek. So they wanted a
Gotcha.
translation in Greek. So it was also translated into Greek.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying.
So do you study the Septuagint? Am I saying that word right? The Septuagint?
I didn't study it. My pastor did, and he studied from, and he would write the Greek on a screen that you could, and he also was fluent in Hebrew and Greek.
Wow, your pastor was fluent in Hebrew and Greek. Hebrew is hard to be fluent in unless you're raised under the tribe of Judah, the so-called Jewish people.
Ancient Greek.
Interesting.
I'm sorry if I'm serious all this time.
Yeah, so Don't Judge Me says you're serious all the time. She appears to want to see a more like a jovial, frivolous side of our friend Rocky here. What do you do for fun, Rocky, if anything? I mean, look, you gotta understand something about Rocky. Rocky's a fucking Marine. Rocky was boots in the ground in both Afghanistan and Iraq. He participated in the theater war. Rock, you might not want to you might not want to show guns on the stream to get me fucking taken out, Rocky. You might not want to do that. That was a water pistol, everybody. That was a water pistol, everybody. Yeah, you too, Tommy. See, this is why we can't, do nice things. Maybe keep the water pistol next to your side and not have to brandish that in front of everybody. As Steve calls you a jarhead, huh?
You can't show guns on YouTube?
Yeah, not my rule, theirs. We have another jarhead here. I have a jarhead calling you a jarhead. Is that a term of endearment from one Marine to another, Rock?
Yeah, jarhead. That's we used to get high and tights, so they called us jarheads.
Gotcha. Yeah, I am familiar with that term. You gotta understand, Rocky, he has like an off-grid, like, cabin or whatever you want to call it, like an enclave somewhere. And I don't think Rocky's engaged in a lot of frivolous behaviors. But what do you do for fun, Rock? Sex?
I'm doing it right now.
You like doing this?
Yeah, I like getting on and sticking up for Jesus. Stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Anyway, you know what's going on right now?
You tell us, man.
We're being invaded by UN forces.
Who do you mean by
from all around the world, from every nation.
What does we mean?
The United States.
So you're saying there's UN security forces in the U.S. That's what you're saying.
These foreigners invading our border right now they're UN forces. They have UN debit cards. They're going to join with our military because they have to, in order to have a one world government, you can't have a free nation. So this is all predicted in the scriptures about a one world government, and all you people are asleep. You don't realize what the fuck is going on. You're being invaded by a UN military. They're military age men. And
hold on. All right. So there's people in my chat that are agreeing with you. Can you please be specific? What do you mean that we're being invaded by the UN military currently? I want you to talk logistics. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
The Texas border is being overrun. We've got 11 million illegal immigrants. The borders are open.
Okay, so you're saying the immigrants are basically part of a UN agenda. We're not talking about so you're saying the immigrants are part of a UN globalist agenda to basically take down the sovereign independent nation that we call the United States of America. Is that what you're saying, dude?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
I saw 3 of them in my hometown, which is 15 miles from they're being brought in as sleeper cells. These guys were brought up in a brand new Ford F-350 pickup truck with Texas license plates on.
So you feel as though they're
to
being funded and supported by whoever these nefarious characters are on the global stage, whether it be like a George Soros type guy or whatever. So you feel like they're not just, so you're saying it's not just like we see on the news where you see a bunch of like, let's say desperate Mexican families who are looking for a better life. They bring their family across the fucking Rio Grande and they eke it out. You're saying they're being funded and supported to come here as subterfuge. Is that your claim, good sir?
The Mexicans are not coming over. The Mexicans don't want to come over.
So they're just coming through Mexico. Who is it? What's their ethnicity? Are they Muslim?
Syrians, Africans, from all over the world.
All right.
They're from every nation. The United Nations is facilitating an invasion of the United States. They're giving them debit cards. I talked to 4 of them at my grocery store. I seen them, and so I seen one, and I said, "Where are you guys from?" And it was a Mexican. He said, "I'm from Texas." And I said, he said he was from Texas, and then the other 3 couldn't speak English. One was really dark skinned, looked like African. It looked like and then they all had really expensive hiking boots on. They had really good, expensive freaking shoes I can't even afford. And this guy, so I said, you're from Texas. He said, I said, "Are you an American?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm from Mexico." First he was from Texas, now he's from Mexico. He wouldn't let me talk to the other guys. And he had like 4 debit cards, and he was choosing which one he wanted to use, I think. Let
me ask you something, Rock. Hold on. Let me rein this in a bit. So it seems like you're still adhering to the, United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, the last bastion of true freedom guaranteed through the Constitution and its Bill of Rights. But let's really examine that. I mean, it could be said that nationalism is maybe not such a good thing. Some people have considered nationalism to be, let's say, I don't know, in some ways, a virtue of the vicious, as it's been explained, and not quite so the way that you're presenting it. Seemingly, I mean, is there something to be said that that nationalism, that adherence to any nation is in some way divisive and playing into the agenda? Could it be said that the United States of America was indeed created from its inception as part of this psyop, where they say they give us a representative democracy, where we have a so-called constitutional republic? But could it just be in some way an illusion where we think that we have freedoms, that we think we're controlling the government? Was it controlled from its inception as basically a corporatocracy from the top down, some form of fascism? What is your thoughts, good sir?
I hear you on that. But originally, the Puritans, the Pilgrims, the Puritans came over to escape persecution from the Roman Catholic Church. And in the 1600s, they fled the 30 Years' War. They came over here to get away from the persecution of Rome. And we grew, we believed in the scriptures. And then in 1776, that was the date of we were overtaken by these Rosicrucians. They're all, Washington was a Mason and all this. But before that, we still were a Christian nation, not a Christian nation, but a nation full of Christians. And we demanded the first 10 amendments because they demanded that. And so it's the people really that decide. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Where is the United Nations? It's located in New York. What does United States means? What does that even mean, United States? A state is a nation.
Well,
United Nations,
yeah.
United States means the same thing.
Mhm.
But this is prophetic. What's going on right now? We're being invaded by the UN security forces, and they're going to join with our military as a backup, because our military is corrupt. We're globalists. The United States is Babylon, or we've turned into Babylon. Where does all the smut of the world come from? Hollywood. And it's connected with these Zionist fake Khazar mafia Jews. They call themselves Jews, but they're really Khazar. It's the Khazar mafia. And Revelation identifies them. In Revelations 2:9, it says the Jews that call themselves Jews were not Jews, but the synagogue of Satan. So you got all these Christians thinking that the Zionists are the good guys, and so the Zionists are controlling Gaza. That's a fake. They get this division, and then they get all the Muslims to hate Americans. They get them to come over here, and at the border, it's the fake Zionist Jews that are also helping them to come into our country. And so it's all biblical what's going on, and it's just nobody. If you don't know your scriptures, you can't really see it. But I didn't even know what was going on. It took me a while to figure all this crap out, because it's really confusing what's going on. And
It's going to be confusing. There's going to be a great delusion, but you know already we're not going to win. We only show our God we can lose properly. Now you need to see
Right.
this dude that gets arrested. Z, that link I put in the back, no pun, take it to 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Let it roll.
No,
This
I'm
shit-
not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I don't.
You
feel like
got to
playing
hear
it.
Well,
what this Russian dude says.
I don't feel like playing a clip
well, what's
right now.
going on is, listen, what's
You
going
got to
on
play
is,
this, Z. Play it.
The fuck is
happening?
wrong with you, man?
What's happened is these Khazar Jews are manipulating the whole world, and what's going on is they got the Christians thinking that you can't be against Jews, and they got other people seeing how evil they are, and so they're supporting the Muslims, and it's all fake. The Muslims, Gaza, that's fake footage. They're faking it too. They're faking it. They're faking the hell out of Gaza.
Is Gaza the new 9/11?
Well,
Same
that's what they
thing.
want you to think, but it's a conspiracy to get a division. But what's going on now is they got all the Muslims hating America. They think, they should hate us. It's kind of like, because I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's crazy. And
Rocky,
yeah.
do you find yourself in a strange position where, we grew up in this culture of America, we were conditioned around nationalism and stuff, and then but then to try to be objective when looking at the world stage and geopolitics, because we are obviously conditioned through patriotism to identify with America and emotionally respond with the American agenda. Do you find it hard to be objective in this? I think many people do.
Well, nationalism is a biblical principle. That the Tower of Babel, they were trying to become internationalists. Yeah, and they are wagging the dog. Yeah, and anyway, they nationalism is a biblical, and the Tower of Babel is when Nimrod wanted to make everybody, have one world government. And so God divided the world into nations, and each nation started worshiping a false god. I mean, but nations is a biblical principle, You can't have freedom without nationalism. And so they demonized the word nationalism during the World War II, the Nationalist Socialist Party. They don't like nationalism. They had to get, and Hitler warned us about the international Jewry and everybody, and that whole war, we thought we were on the right side, but Patton said we were on the wrong side. He figured it out.
Well, Patton knew apparently that Russia was going to become like a big thing afterwards. It seemed as though the stories are that Patton wanted to keep those armies going east and then into Russia and finish the job. What's your take on that?
The Russians were international Bolshevik Khazar Mafia Jews. They were Khazar Jews. They were Mafia Khazar Jews. And it was, you figure Rome, when Constantine moved his headquarters from Rome and he went to the Black Sea, it was right across from Russia. And they created these Khazar Jews. They created them in order to have that, quote where, don't mess with the chosen people. They're not the chosen people. Look at Revelations 2:9. It says, the Jews that call themselves Jews but are of the synagogue of Satan. Christ identified who they were. And so these churchianity who worship the Jews who rejected their own Messiah, the Jews that call you a goyim, and then they hook up with the people that call you an infidel. So you got these two supposedly warring each other, but they're really all controlled by the same frickin', Satan or whatever. But they're both controlled, and they both hate. And basically, they're trying. These Jews are not white people. These Khazar Jews, and they're trying to get rid of whitey. They're trying to, because the white people are the Adamic race, and I don't know. They got to get rid of the Adamic race. If they get rid of the true Israel, then the Bible can't come true. So that's what Satan's been trying to do. Tries to get rid of the seed of Jesus when he tried to make the whole race Nephilim before the flood. They were all non-humans. And so what saved mankind was 4 marriages. That's why marriage is important. 4 marriages saved mankind from
You're referring to the marriages of Noah's sons?
Right. 8 true humans, not humans. I shouldn't use that word, because in the Black's Law Dictionary,
the line of Adam. You're talking about Noah's from the line of Adam, which is through the line of Seth, everybody. Eve had 3 children. Okay, there's Cain, Abel, but there's Seth. Nobody ever talks about Seth. Why? The line of which you're conjecturing as the line of the Christ, which goes all the way up from Christ through David, through Solomon, up to Abraham, and then if you extend that more, obviously through the line of Noah and his grandfather Enoch, you get to Seth. The line of man comes through Seth, which may indeed be the only seed of Adam. And it's quite possible that the seed for Cain and Abel, who were twins, were not of Adam, but were indeed of the serpent in the garden. Your take, Rocky Shepherd. Yeah,
there's something to that. I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't know how all that worked, but basically, before the flood, the earth was being overrun by non-humans, half human, half fallen angels, and the only people that got on the boat were true human beings, and everybody else was wiped out. As in the days of Noah, so will be in the days, the latter days, or whatever. But so what are they
the
trying to do?
the
What are
coming
they
of the
trying
Son
to,
of Man? Yes.
yeah, what are they trying to do right now? They're trying to give you a shot, and they're trying to manipulate your DNA. It's the same thing. They're trying to make you transhuman. Why do we have this transgender movement? Because it's leading into transhumanism. They want to make you a cyborg, put a chip in your head, and have you download yourself to the freaking internet and stuff. It's all the same crap. Satan is trying to get rid of the true Israel, I think, is what they're doing. And it's kind of messed up. And I don't know the whole thing about it. All I know is the scripture's true. It was true, and I think these are signs and wonders. This Mandela effect. It's a sign. It's Satan's. God gives Satan powers. But it's only he's allowed these powers. If we didn't have evil in the world, we wouldn't know what good was. That's the whole reason God allowed evil. People want to know why is evil in the world. It's because so we can identify what is good, and and God made vessels for destruction, and He made vessels for glory.
Right
And
on.
if you
Let's
don't
bring back
follow
a
Jesus-
balloon of Tommy because he's losing his mind.
Yeah, I just want to help my man's clean that up a little bit. There's evil in the world and there's a snake in the garden because that's how we got our free will. You can't have free will in a rubber room, you know? There's got to be, for free will, you have to have the wrong decision to make, you know? But everything you're saying is correct. Like, they can't foil the third plan. They tried to stop Jesus's birth, then they tried to stop the crucifixion. Now they can't stop the last part. They can only take more souls to hell. So they're trying to take as many with them as they can. But Satan knows he's fucked. So he's just trying to up that score on the way out. But
Good
there was
point.
like they did make plays to try and stop the birth of Jesus, and they made plays to try and stop the crucifixion. And now they can't do anything to stop this. They actually helped carry it out. You can't
Right on.
not carry out the revelation.
All right, say goodbye, gentlemen. I got to get to the
Play the
news.
video.
I got to
Play
get
the
to the
clip at
news.
420 for this dude.
Why are you screaming at me on my show?
I
What's the
want this
nature of the
guy to
video?
see the video.
What's
It just shows what a guy says while he's getting arrested and he's rushing.
Okay,
Wait,
what
is that
about the
the-
UN? About
that
the
the
UN
video
bringing him
and-
in here and shit like that? Is that what you're
No, he
mentioning?
says some other significant thing.
You play it on your channel, Tom, and we'll all go watch it
But
there.
we're
How's
here
that?
now talking about it. I don't get your views.
Get out of here. I asked you to give last words, and that's it. Much love, Tommy. Much love. No, I'm not
Oh, I
playing
watched
that.
it, Tommy. Is that the one that's in the chat?
It's in the chat,
Private
Rock.
chat.
Yeah.
Private chat.
Yep. Take it to four.
I'll
Well,
watch
you
it.
can watch the whole thing, but if you just want to see that part, take it to 420. And Z, drop it in the chat for all the plebs that you could have played it for.
No, because I haven't watched. I'm not just going to drop something I haven't seen.
It's a Quaker. It's a dude that lives off grid. It's Doug and Stacy.
You love that guy. You made me play his shit
He's
before
got
when he
some
was
good
talking about the
information.
microclotting on the spike
He's one of the good
proteins.
ones in these times. And I called him out. I called him out when he tried to say Mel Gibson was a pedo. I said, slow your roll. And he replied, he was like, yeah, I did jump on the Mel Gibson too fast.
So I would
people-
say to all the people out there is get ready to protect your family and your community. And we're not to really war against these people. And maybe even try to give these foreigners coming into our land the gospel, lay hands on them or something and give them the
I
gospel.
think they're going to let some chaos go because I bet you that they're letting MS-13s in. And then the guy on this video said that there's both China and Russia militia that are waiting for the economic collapse. Like, I want to get the fuck out of Denver because I would think in your
All
metropolitan.
right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. All right, I dropped it, Tommy. I dropped the link for it in the chat, good sir. Now the audience can view said video at their own discretion. Much love. Rocky, any final words before I get to news?
No, just get ready. And the best way to get ready is to
Yeah, tell us
your faith
how,
in
man.
Jesus.
Tell us how, dude. How do we get ready? Is it a spiritual thing? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Your faith should be in Jesus. Jesus is the high
Rocky,
tower.
what do you say, Rocky, to people who, when they hear the Jesus thing, when they hear the Christian thing, it immediately turns them off? Have they been psyoped to reject
Yeah.
the doctrine of the Christ?
That's the biggest psyop out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
that's
you
the biggest psyop.
you wouldn't call yourself a Christian now, would you?
Well, I'm a believer in Jesus. I don't really. There's not a denomination. I don't belong to any denomination. Denominations is a hoax. I believe in Jesus for my salvation. That's my hope. I know where I'm going. That's why I have no fear. They can kill me. They can torture me. Whatever the hell they want to do. Doesn't scare me. But my main concern is for others. I'm trying to help them find the way, the only way. There's only one way. There's only one God. There can't be if there are a bunch of gods, then they're not gods, are they?
Well, it's a good point. It does beg the question. And like how you said the way, because Christianity apparently was originally called the way. They were not called Christians until Antioch.
Exactly.
It says it in the scripture, which was some time after the Christ figure's apparent crucifixion and resurrection. So much love, Rocky. You always bring the heat, and we appreciate you here on Z Show. Link to Rocky's channels in the chat above, everybody, if you want to find them. Much love, Rock.
Peace out.
Peace out, Rock. Rock E. Shepherd, everybody. And he was right about the Septuagint. We were both right about it. So, like Mateo says, he subscribes to the Jesus deception. Whether or not, I think he did address it there, that there is a deception around it. And I think he's encouraging people to look beyond the deception, look to the way. Which is interesting because the Tao also means the way. So interesting link between the Tao, which means the way, and this concept of early quote-unquote Christians being categorized in the way. Might say something. I don't know. But either way, everybody, it's time for news. In today's top story from Yahoo News, evacuations via Rafah crossing continue as Israeli troops push towards Gaza City. I messed up my thing. Oh, here we go. Israel's ground assault continued Thursday, with troops pushing towards Gaza City. International calls for a ceasefire are growing louder as civilian deaths mount and the humanitarian crisis grows. Israel has so far rejected such calls in its response to the October 7th Hamas attack that left more than 1,400 people dead. More than 8,800 people, including thousands of children, have since been killed in retaliatory strikes across the Gaza Strip, according to Hamas-controlled Ministry of Health. President Biden suggested a humanitarian pause on Wednesday as limited evacuations into Egypt via the Rafah border crossing. Okay, so obviously the Rafah border is the border between the Gaza and Egypt. So here we go. Sure, more with the presentation. Stimulus response. This October 7th attack, which I'm likening to the 9/11 attacks here in America, maybe not in a way you might think. We see these events being used to catapult particular agendas into action, boots on the ground, so to speak. Often we see these attacks presented with, let's say, horrific images, the stories of the beheading of the Jewish children and then the response. But I always want to point this out when it comes to these kinds of stories and these narratives is when things play out as a script, you might want to look and see if it's indeed not a script, because it's almost too, let's say, mechanistic. Okay, Israel gets attacked apparently on October 8th by these purported insurgents, terrorists, so to speak, with, again, supposed links to Iran, Syria, and others. Israel responds in kind. But let's really think about it. At what point is there discretion? At what point is there a human initiative to proceed? Why do these things fall like dominoes? Why do these stories seem to take place as if they are a fait accompli or accomplished fate? Why do they always play out in the exact way they would be expected to play out, much like a script? It's interesting. We treat these things as though they are, again, an accomplished fate, as if there's no discretion involved, as if at no point can leaders step in, can the world stage step in to prevent these things. Again, if it seems like a script, you might want to check indeed if it's a script. Very strange to me. Let's proceed. God, my computer is so slow nowadays. It's pissing me off. Come on, computer. Don't fail me now. You've been doing great so far. Moving on. In other news, from The Guardian, global heating is accelerating, warns scientist who sounded climate alarm in the 80s. Well, guys, they're going to continue with this climate change, global warming. Some people said it was global cooling, global warming, global cooling, back and forth. Well, they got the bright idea at some point to say, let's just call it climate change. That way, no matter what happens, we'll just be right. Let's get into it. Global heating is accelerating faster than is currently understood and will result in key temperature thresholds. But what happened? Come on, computer. Don't fight me. Global heating is accelerating faster than is currently understood and will result in a key temperature threshold being breached as soon as this decade, according to research led by James Hansen, the U.S. scientist who first alerted the world to the greenhouse effect. Okay, so this guy is probably just another one of these propped up minions of the system. He apparently coined the term greenhouse gases, greenhouse effect. This term where these certain gases, primary amongst them are carbon dioxide and methane, when they are basically introduced into the atmosphere, we all have normal levels, of course, of these gases. But apparently when these gases become elevated, they increase the temperatures by holding in the thermal energy of the sun, much like a greenhouse would do. Thus the term greenhouse effect or greenhouse gases. Being presented with this, we're being told that this climate change, if indeed it's happening, it appears there might be something to it, is due to these greenhouse gases. And not only that, that these greenhouse gases are due to human behaviors, human endeavors. Now, there's a couple ways we could approach this. One, indeed, if these greenhouse gases do contribute to this global warming, that's a big if, because I look at it like this. We live in a system that seems to be perfectly set up, created, one might say, to maintain a particular balance, a homeostasis to support life. And that it's quite possible that greenhouse gases may indeed increase or decrease cyclically over time based off various circumstances. It also seems to me that this earth has a way to keep this balance, because when I look at plants and plant matter, we find that plant matter thrives off of these greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide in particular. And that indeed, the metabolic processes of plant matter through the process called photosynthesis is dependent on greenhouse gases. One can imagine that an increase in greenhouse gases would simply lead to an increase in plant life. This increase in plant life would necessarily lead to the decrease in greenhouse gases. Thus, the perfectly balanced creation that I think we have here. But that's not what science is telling you. Science is telling you that this increase in greenhouse gases is maintaining. It is not being processed through plants. Most of it's said to be through algae. The oceans are said to process the carbon dioxide more than, say, the rainforests. But apparently this isn't happening. They're saying that human effects on greenhouse gas productions, emissions, is indeed maintaining and contributing to this so-called global warming that we see. But it begs the question, all right, let's just assume they're right and this earth is not balancing itself out like maybe it should be. I look at this, I say, okay, what are they saying we're producing in greenhouse gases? Let's compare that to natural greenhouse gas production that is just part of the functioning of this earth. If you look at things like volcanic eruptions, if you look at things like forest fires, natural processes, if you look at things like methane release from, let's say, degradation of biomatter, plant matter, you'll see that methane is released naturally, also from animals. They're saying that we're increasing the so-called greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. But one can argue that natural earth processes contribute many more times, by orders of magnitude, more greenhouse gases than humans ever can. If that's the case, then human greenhouse gas production would be just a drop in the bucket when it comes to carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere. If a volcano produces magnitudes more greenhouse gases than humans, why such the focus on our behavior? It seems to me the agenda is less about controlling these greenhouse gases and more about controlling you. More about controlling how you travel, centralizing the means of travel through electric engine technology, centralizing how you heat your home, centralizing even how you form your communities, putting you in these urban environments, these 15-minute cities where they're going to control how you heat your home, the structure of your home environment, again, how you travel. It seems to me they're less concerned about these greenhouse gases and more concerned about your activities and bringing them under the purview of some centralized authority. I said it before, guys, you can call it a new world order. It just appears to be a world order. I don't think there's anything new about it. So as you read articles like this, try to get beyond the agenda. Try to get to the motives of those who are in power. Are they really concerned about the emissions from your seemingly antiquated combustion engine car? Are they really worried about the gas stove or propane stove that you have in your house or the way you heat your house? Or are they more concerned about consolidating their power through nefarious means? All right, everybody. It'll bring us to the end of the news segment for today's Z Show. Where's my music? I'm going to have to clean my computer up. It's running way too slow. There it is. And indeed, guys and dolls, guys and ghouls, that will bring us to the end of another Z Show. Busy morning here. Lots of guests. Lots of fun. But again, time to go. And as I say, parting is such sweet sorrow. So once again, I bid you farewell and adieu, all my faithful listeners. And join us here, if the fates are willing, tomorrow. Same Z time, same Z channel, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Each and every weekday morning. Much love, everybody. Take care of yourselves. I know you will. Godspeed, everybody.